Alrighty, YouTube. Welcome in for the first time in a week and a half. Your boy is back, streaming today, doing something a little bit different. We're not playing a video game. We are going to be talking about, I'm going to be talking about my wonderful and incredible trip to Peru, South America. Yes, for those that don't know, I went to Peru for a week. It was a week, yeah, basically a week. And it was absolutely unbelievably incredible. I'd never been out of the country before. First time away from the States, and holy crap, if it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, I will never forget it for the rest of my life. I hope it's not. I hope I get to come back at some point, but it's going to be a while. But check it out. Check out the sweet threads. I got myself a poncho from Cusco, Peru. It's so comfy. It looks awesome. I saw the red, and I had to have it. Oh yeah, it's got a hood. Hell yeah. Poncho. First poncho. I used to live in Arizona. I don't know why I didn't buy one there, but I'm glad I didn't, because this thing freaking rules. But yes, I went to Peru, South America for about a week with my mom and her boyfriend. It was an absolutely wonderful experience. Excuse the heavy breathing. I had a kind of a big lunch, so excuse my my fatness. And I'm going to show you a bunch of pictures and some videos as well. I'm going to talk about what it is, what I saw, what I experienced, what the tour guide taught me, and we're just going to chill and I'm just going to explain it all. So I'm going to get some music going. I think I popped up some like local Peruvian music on like a playlist. Hopefully none of it's copyright. We'll see. Even if it is, then it is what it is if it is. I also have no idea how loud it is. That should be fine, I think, probably. Yeah, this should be fine. I don't want it to be too overpowering, so there we go. Maybe even a little lower. There we go. So yes, I went to Peru, South America for about a week. We went to many places, including Cusco, the capital of the Incan Empire, More, Maras, Pisac, and of course, the main event, we went to Machu Picchu, the legendary Incan and pre-Incan ruins. And holy crap, I will never forget it. Machu Picchu was absolutely wonderfully beautiful and so rich with history. And yeah, I'm going to show you all that stuff on the monitor. No event list today, but the alert box is up just to have as few things on the screen as possible. But let's begin. Like I said, I'm just going to get into it, man. I guess we'll start from the very beginning. Actually, I'll just wait on that for a second. We'll start from the very beginning. So we left to Peru on Saturday. Last Saturday. I have the itinerary here. Or itinerary, however you say it. Yes, so we basically left we left Friday at midnight from Portland. We flew from Portland to Dallas-Fort Worth, and then we flew from Fort Worth to Miami, and then we flew from Miami to Lima. And yeah, if you could believe it, the flying was the worst part of the trip. Because although the flights were fine, like the flights were actually very smooth. I hadn't been flying in over a decade, so I was a little like maybe a little nervous at first, but once we got through the first flight, I was like, oh, we're good. This is nothing. So, yeah, it was nice. The flights were great, actually. Very smooth, good pilots, good landings, all that. But yeah, so 3 flights. 3 flights in the span of almost 24 hours. And yeah, that was rough. But we got to Lima on Saturday, and then we basically just went to the hotel. And holy crap, that first hotel, which was the Costa del Sol at the airport. Literally, like, the airport's here. The hotel's right across the street. Fantastic airport and fantastic hotel. So, yeah. So we just kind of unwinded that day. I had myself a delicious ham sandwich and quickly realized how much the U.S. dollar is worth in Peru. Because 1 Peruvian sol, which is their currency, equals... So, 1 Peruvian sol equals like $3 US or something? Or sorry, no, one US dollar equals 0.027 sols. So yeah, 1 sol equals about $4 US. So if something is 4 sols, then basically everything's cheap. I'm getting the conversions wrong, but you can just look it up. Yeah, anyway, so the next day is where our trip truly and you know, first began. We took another flight, so that's fourth flight in about a day, from Lima to Cusco. Cusco, the capital of the Incan Empire. Didn't stay super long in Cusco because we were going to the Sacred Valley, where we had a hotel, and we also got to see some ruins. So that is where our pictures begin. On the first day of the first night, let's get this set up in the thing. All right. Now we can go to the monitor. Here we are. This is the first picture I took in Peru. This is the Sacred Valley of Pisac. Yes, Pisac. That's the name. I'm going to probably forget some of these names because some of the names are very hard to pronounce because I do not speak Spanish. So please excuse my American ignorance. But this is the Sacred Valley of Pisac. This is actually the town of Pisac. You can see down here. Absolutely beautiful town. We drove through it. Lots of farming. Got a big old river right there. Beautiful scenery and landscapes. I just want to say this right off the bat. Lima, Peru, South America is fucking beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. One of the most beautiful, like, scenic areas I've ever been to in my entire life. This music's, like, perfect, by the way. And this is Peruvian music, apparently. But yes, this is the town of Pisac, and what you will see in a second, this is the ruins, but this entire big area is called the Sacred Valley. And according to the itinerary, this is where the agricultural strip that supplied food to the Incan Empire. So yeah, this entire area is basically where they grew their food, they made their food, and supplied it to all the Incans when they got there. So it's pretty sweet. But yeah, so that's Pisac, a beautiful, beautiful town. Here's a little bit of a landscape shot, just to kind of show you how freaking big the mountains are. Holy crap, the mountains are big. So, Cusco, Peru, and all them, they're in the mountains. Very high elevation. Like, I think where we were in Pisac was like 9 to 11,000 feet, something like that. I think it was about 11,000 feet above sea level. So, this entire area is very high up. Like, Lima isn't as high up, but Cusco is very high. In fact, when we had to fly from Lima to Cusco, we flew up, and then they actually had to fly around the mountains to get to the Cusco airport. So, yeah. And once again, I might be getting sick. I really hope I'm not, because I have to go to work tomorrow. But please excuse the maybe sniffling and things. So, yeah. Also, oh, yeah. I'm probably going to sneeze a few times. Parker, thank you for the 44 months. Welcome back. Thank you, Parker. Welcome back yourself. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you for the 44 months. Enjoy this 5 stupid emotes I have. And spread the love all over. Also, Bacon, your shit's actually working? Hell yeah. I'm glad it's working. Welcome in, Bacon, as well. It looked like at the start it wasn't, but now it is. First, enjoy it while it lasts. But welcome in, Parker. Welcome, Bacon. Parker, as you can see, or maybe can see, I don't know if you can see it on whatever you're using, but you are now a VIP. So, congrats. I don't think really anything changes, but now you're a VIP because you've been here pretty much every stream, so there you go. But welcome in, guys. Once again, to those just joining, I'm just going to be talking about my trip to Peru. I went to Peru for a week. It was fantastic, and we're going to go through all the things. So yeah, once again, this is the Sacred Valley. This is where we started our trip. Basically, a day after we arrived at transit, this is the first place we saw, and holy crap, it's beautiful. Let's see if I can go with this. There we go. So this is another great, great picture. Once again, that is the town, and I think I can actually zoom in. Yep. This is the town of Pisac right here. The ruins you will see are part of the town, but look at how beautiful the landscape is. Even just the mountains. Mountains are freaking beautiful. It's just amazing. That entire country is amazing. And now we get our first glimpse at one of the most important things of the entire, pretty much the entire country. These right here. They look like just terraces, right? Weird steps. In fact, those are not. These are temples. Back in the old days, they basically made these to, A, for food, and B, to appease the gods. Usually the sun, water, wind, the earth, basically, to appease the earth. There are hundreds of these. Like hundreds of these, and you will see many, many, many more. Oh, so yeah, the poison for Cusco. And here's a better picture of it. This is the first terrace / temple that we saw. Absolutely beautiful. And those are the ruins in the background. Made years ago, you can't even imagine. It's made a long time ago. Like, I'll try to remember all the finer details. There was a lot of information that I, not all of it I remember. So please excuse my ignorance once again. But, I mean, thousands and thousands of years ago, roughly. I think some of these are like 15 to 2,000 years ago, which is a long time. So, yeah. Another great picture of the terrace. Actually, a better picture of the terrace with the ruins in the background. This is, once again, this is Pisac. The town and the ruins of Pisac, Cusco, I guess Cusco or Peru. You could just say Peru. Kind of a blurry picture. There's a little shack down there. So, Oh, by the way, all these pictures come from my phone, so that's why some of them will be, like, horizontal. And some of them will be vertical and all that shit. And there's one of the favorites, the alpaca. The alpaca is basically like the national animal. There they are. They're super cute. Super soft as well. Some of the softest fur on the entire planet. Yeah, Pisac. Yeah, Pisac, exactly. They eat grass and they poop, and that's about it. That's pretty much all they do. They eat grass and poop and produce wonderfully soft fur. My mom actually got a few alpaca clothing things. Now, this is actually a very interesting rock because you might think like, oh, this is just a normal, ordinary, weird-looking like mountain rock or something. However, if you notice, when I zoom in, there are holes inside some of these rock areas. It's like, okay, why is that? Well, you may or may not know this. Life is just eating and pooping correct. You may not know this because I didn't know this either. This is actually a mausoleum. There are hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of bodies inside the mountain. Like, literally. Back in the old days, they would bury them inside the mountain, usually with a dog, and the whole... I can't remember all of it, but the whole thing is, like, once they die, they get this, like, second life of where the dog leads them to the afterlife or something like that. A lot of very religious things. Very much like all the ruins are based on religion, the sun, gods, and all that stuff. It's very interesting. But yeah, this is a mausoleum. And these holes were basically created from the Spanish. When the Spanish got here after they had already, died and fled and all that, or like the previous people had, they cut these holes into the mountain to try and find gold. Because they were like, hey, that's the only reason they basically came here was to find gold and silver and all that. So they were like, oh, if this is like a big mausoleum, there's got to be some stuff in here, right? Well, no, they didn't find any. Or presumably they didn't. So yeah, this is a mausoleum. This is a very blurry picture. I tried to zoom it in, but when my phone zooms in, it gets a little fucked up. So excuse this one. Same thing, just the mausoleum. Kayakasa. This is just the part of the ruins. Sector. Very cool sign. I like it. And these, you'll see a lot of these arches. These are for the high caste. If you were very high up on the ladder of the religious ladder, like the high priest, this is what you would see, like the country club in quotes. And here's a great picture of the town of Pisac along with the terraces. Absolutely one of the best pictures. And there's some of the ruins too. We'll get to those in a second. And over there as well. That's actually where we came in. So we basically drove all the way up from this town, swerving through the mountain, and we landed around there. Then we walked all the way over here up to here. Fantastic. Once again, beautiful mountains. A lot of this is clay because it's red, and clay is red. But yeah, like I said, even just the surrounding scenery is absolutely gorgeous. It's all in the mountains. All of it is in the mountains. Oh, see, I went to a very small town. Well, I mean, we'll get to that in a second. Some of these towns are much bigger. There's my water bottle. That's my mom. This is a little clay shack hut. Very nice. Another great picture of Pisac. I love the sun. How the sun is illuminating like half of the town. Once again, these terraces are. It's kind of hard to put into words how freaking big these are. It is it's huge, and you'll see more of it. But these are like this thing goes basically all the way down. They're huge, and let's remember, these were not built by people of the today age that had many a tool and a jackhammer and machinery. No, these were built, I think, pre-Incan, so let's say about anywhere between like 600 to 800 AD. They had rocks, maybe a chisel, but they basically had to carve that out of a stronger rock while climbing up the mountain, carrying bigger rocks. Like, the ingenuity and the architecture is ridiculous because of what they had to work with. Oh, and they also were usually barefoot. So imagine walking up a big-ass mountain carrying like a 70-pound rock with bare feet and no steps. These architects were Chad. You're not wrong. You are not wrong. Another great picture of a Pisac. Beautiful, beautiful picture. Hey, don't climb over the walls. So an interesting thing about this picture is, and you will see in the later pictures as well, some of these like walls and buildings are built a little differently from each other because over time there were many different peoples that inhabited these areas. So like these are, some of them will be pre-Incan, some of them will be Incan, but they could be built. Oh, how do you spell Pisac? I will show you. Like that. I think that's how you spell it. Yes, P-I-S-A-C, Pisac. The Pisac ruins. I know, it does sound like P-Sock, doesn't it? Yeah, as you'll see, a lot of these are, like, in the even though they're in the same area, there's going to be a lot of different architecture because of the different peoples that inhabited it. It's like, this is very different from that. And, you know, I'll explain about that a little bit later. Oh, here's a great example. So, compare this, kind of how the rocks are smoothed out. They're laid in more evenly and all that. Well, because that was an older, or a newer tribe. These are the people that came after these. So, these ones were pre-Incan. And you can kind of see by the architecture how it's not very smooth at all. They just kind of put whatever rocks they could on there. And that was that. That's how they did it. And this is because this was pre-Incan. You know, we always talk about the Incans because they were a very powerful tribe, although for a very short period of time. But yeah, these are the people that came before. And it's actually really fascinating, the history. The history is half the reason. We got some of these freaking idol stands. Very nice. Once again, you can see that a lot of these are... It's like this is pre, and this is kind of, you can see the difference in the architecture. I'm not a tour guide. I will do my absolute best to explain these things. Our tour guide, whose name was Marcos, absolutely fantastic tour guide. He was like our best friend on this trip, and he's practically family now. I hope to see him again someday. But he was a fantastic tour guide. He gave us all the ins and outs about all these things, and was incredibly honest. There he is right there. Kind of a blurry picture. That's Marcos. That's Matthew, my mom's boyfriend. And that's, of course, my mom. It's actually a great picture of that rock. But, yeah, these little window things. All based on the location of the sun. A lot of the stuff has to do with the location of the sun. Like, if certain windows are in certain places, it's because it's marked as... they could see, like, the solstice of June. There's another window to that side. It's the solstice, the December solstice. You know, all this, it's literally praise the sun. Kind of a blurry picture, but this is a big wall that had a bunch of these windows. Little idol stands. So that was Pisac. Obviously, I didn't, you know, I'm not going to take a picture of every little thing, but, you know, I try to get some of the best we can. So next, this is actually at our second hotel, which is called the Casa Andina in the Sacred Valley. We actually had a hotel in the Sacred Valley. And, yeah, and so these are some of the tapestries that were in the hotel in this little, like, back room that had music and all that. Absolutely stunning. And I believe the name of this guy was Hector. Let's see if I remember this correctly. I have the link up. Yes, Hector Surco, the Weaver Painter. He was born in Cusco, the capital city of the Incas, in 1986. Since he was a child, he has shown his passion for drawing and painting. Like many children growing up in Cusco, his grandmother showed him how to weave and create textile art. It didn't take long for him to combine his love for drawing and painting with the love for weaving. I'm reading this from his official biography, his official site, surcotapestryart.com. You can actually buy his tapestries. They're expensive, but I mean, holy shit, they're amazing. How long of a flight was it? We took 3, so the first set was 3 flights. We went from Portland to Dallas, which is about 3 hours. But then we went from Dallas to Miami, another 2-3 hours. And then we went from Miami to Lima, which is like about 5.5 hours. And then we went from Lima to Cusco, which is another like hour. We basically took 8 flights in all. It took over 24 hours. Next time we might decide to just do one big flight, but it's also way more expensive. And some of those flights, we didn't have to pay for the seats. So, yeah. But yeah, the flying was definitely the worst part because we took 8 flights. It was definitely rough. But yeah, here are some of his tapestries. Absolutely amazing. Like, think about this too. The different weavings, the detail, but also the colors. Like, how in the world were they able to get, like, the fading in colors like this? And there's a bunch of these. I took a picture of every single one that was in the building. I don't remember the names of them, but, I mean, just stunning. Like that. I mean, even marked as artist, or his artist signature with it. But just, like, look at all the colors. Like, how in the world? I don't have that talent. I can barely say words correctly, let alone do a fucking tapestry. And once again, this was in the hotel. Another beautiful one. That's Machu Picchu right there. I think that's Machu Picchu. Got the condor, the snake, and the some sort of cat. I'm assuming a tiger or something. Fucking beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I didn't get a very good frame shot. I should also mention, I'm not very good at taking pictures. I hadn't taken pictures on my phone in quite a while, so please excuse the amateur nature of a lot of these pictures. But yeah, just look at the beautiful, like, look at how they weave into each other. Like, how the hell does he do that? I must know. This one's really good. Love the little stars and the snake in Machu Picchu. The Incan warrior right here, the moon. God, the colors. Mom and I were both blown away by how good these looked. And once again, you could, like, buy some of these. Once again, they're very expensive, but you can theoretically buy these. Oh yeah, this is I think the 4 llamas. You know, llamas. One of my favorites. It's beautiful. $1 million? No, they're not $1 million, but they are expensive. Let me actually check. Let's see. So spirits possessed by the moon. I don't think this is one of them in my pictures right here. $5,350. One's $130, $750, $2,250, another $130, $2,200, $350, or sorry, $2,350, $1,600. So yeah, they're about, you know, it really depends on if, you know, if how big they are, but some of them can go upwards of 5,000. But it makes sense because they are handcrafted by this one guy. Like, that's it. Handcrafted, handmade, all the colors, all the art, one guy. I might... if like I ever get rich, I'll buy his entire stock. You're gonna be in Seattle later, Bacon Man? Hell yeah, enjoy Seattle, it's great. This one is my personal favorite. I just love the look of this, and the freaking purple and the black. Oh yeah, and also you might not be able to tell, but this is actually sticking out, so it's like it's raised. And all these little tags right here. This is definitely my favorite one. Another very good one. But, like, all these are just amazing. Yeah, so that's all of his tapestries that were in the hotel. Also, alpaca! They were at the hotel. There was somebody who, I think they just live at the hotel, actually, because I remember seeing them in a little pen. Yep, there's the alpaca. This one was eating. This one was, like, the older one who was very defiant. He, when the gardener guy tried to get him, he ran away because he didn't want to, you know, he didn't want to be disturbed. It was very funny. I should have gotten video of it, but I think my mom may have. But yeah, they're very cute. Once again, they eat grass, they poop, and they sleep. And that's pretty much it. And their fur is very soft. All right, so next, as you can see, another big terrace. This is a different area. This is on the next day, where we went to 3 different places. But this place is called, and see if I can pronounce this right, because it's very tough to pronounce. Ollantay Tambo. Ollantay Tambo. And let me spell that for you in chat so you can kind of get an idea of how difficult it is. Tambo. That's how you spell it. So, yeah. And remember, the double L is a Y. So, Ollantaytambo. This is the ruins and the city of Ollantaytambo. And as you can see, once again, huge temple. I mean, absolutely massive temples. Like, oh, that's Marcos. That's our tour guide. He was the fucking best, and I hope he gets to do this for a long time. But yeah, so this isn't even the main one. This is the side one. just built into the mountains. Like, literally, they had to carve their way through these big-ass mountains to make these. It's incredible. Here's a little bit of more info on some of the areas. So the Temple of the Sun, right there. Diez Hornachinas. And we didn't get to explore all of this, but we definitely explored a good amount. The Templo de Agua, we'll see that later. Baño de la Nusta. Baño means bathroom, which is funny enough. The Colcas, which I think we did see. And yeah, so those are all the main areas of Ollantaytambo. 28,000, I believe that's meters up or something like that. Seattle, Vancouver, yes, for baseball and soccer, wrestling. Hell yeah, enjoy. Now, you might notice these up here. At first, I had no idea what these were. I thought maybe they were more ruins or more temples. In fact, as Marcos, our wonderful tour guide, explained to us, these are actually warehouses for various things that the Incans needed, such as food, supplies, whatever. Like, basically, once they went to battle, to like TLDR, at the very end of the Incan Empire, there was a massive civil war. So basically, everyone had to stop what the fuck they're doing and stock up and go to battle. So these were basically warehouses to store all the food and supplies and weapons, whatever they needed for battle. All the way up here. It's fucking ridiculous. And here are some old stones which were left behind for when they had to stop the building. Because basically, like, they were building a bunch of temples, and they some of them were just left unfinished because they went to battle during the big civil war, which basically ended the Inca Empire, and they weren't able to finish. So some of these are literally just left around from when they stopped. Now, obviously, you know, like, with the restoration projects and things like that, these were moved around, but these are stones that were going to be used for more temples and buildings and walls. Another little picture. I don't know. I got Marcos' shoulder there. But, yep, once again, same stones, and there's the warehouse all the way up there. Could you imagine that? I have to go all the way up there? This is another part of the ruins, too. We weren't able to go up there, but we were able to see it. Going all the freaking way up there just to store your supplies, like, it's ridiculous. Good hand. And this is actually the town of Ollantaytambo. So, obviously, the ruins are the main thing, but this is the town they built, mostly for tourism. But this is the town. It's a beautiful town. They do like their temples. They love their temples because they basically praised the sun, the earth, the wind, the water. Basically, they praised nature, and this is how they showed it. They made these temples to praise nature and its surrounding beauty, and to use it to basically be like, hey, I'm cultivating the nature so you can give back and give me good fortune, things like that. And of course, the sun. They loved praising the sun. But look at how freaking big that mountain is. Like, once again, like, they remember that this entire area used to be a mountain. So they basically had to carve their way through this big mountain to make the town and these temples and these very steep temples right here. These are not easy to climb, by the way. It was very tough because also remember that we are about 9,000 to 11,000 feet above sea level. The altitude definitely changes the way your body works. Your digestion gets slowed, which is a big thing because apparently in places like Peru and Cusco, they eat much lighter meals at night because their digestion gets slowed down because of the high altitude. And also, it's very difficult to climb these because of the high altitude as well. Your body gets exhausted quicker because you're not getting as much air, blood's not flowing as fast, things like that. And I'll explain more about that once we get to some of the more arduous hiking areas. Because there's one in particular that, was very difficult. But yeah, once again, I mean, just look at that. So this used to be a whole big mountain. They carved all of that out to make this and these. You can just kind of see, like, that's the bottom. We were on, like, the 5th or 4th step. I mean, just look at how freaking big these are. And this goes all the way up to, like, here or something. But once again, you can see the different architectures. So, like, this right here was from pre-Incan time. But then the Incans, when they found and came in, they basically just started building on top and to the side of it. Like, I think all of this is Incan, but this was pre-Incan. So, but you can see the different types, like how they just kind of, put rock there, whatever. They just put the rocks there. But the Incans really tried to smooth it out and make it much more, like, layered and even and things like that. Good hitting your mic, fish. So, it's just very interesting how it works. But you can definitely see the different types of architecture just in one area. And yeah, you can see there's stairs there for the tourists like us. And that down there is the water temple. We'll get more into that later. I'm not sure what this picture is. I guess I got Marcos's hand. Oh, so here's something very interesting about this rock specifically. And you might think, what's so fucking interesting about a specific rock? Well, every other rock around it is completely different from this one. This is a unique rock because this rock was actually used as a hammer. So this rock was used to basically break the other rocks. And I guess during the excavation and restoration project, they just decided to put it there along with these. It really stood out because, once again, this rock is completely different. Yeah, it's basically like this was the rock they used to carve out the mountain and make these temples. And they're like, yeah, just put it there. You can kind of get a good picture. Like, that's his shoe and his foot. Look at how fucking big it was. Like, they had to hold that. Bang the freaking rock on it. It's amazing. Here's one of these arches. You'll see a lot of these. Yeah, do not touch. Little divots in the rocks. I think those are places to like grab hold of so you can hammer more and things like that. 10 hornachinas. And once again, this is the town of Ollantaytambo, and we were pretty much near the top of the ruins. We didn't go to the very top. Like, we didn't go all the way up because there was another area all the way up because of time constraints and things like that. But yeah, we went pretty high, as you can see right here. So once again, more warehouses, different lookout points. But I mean, look at how freaking big these are. Look at the scale. There's like 6 people right there. Look at how wide that is. And they just carved it out. And remember, they didn't have many steps. They didn't have shoes. They didn't have these stairs right here were built for tourists. They didn't have these. They had to climb up the steep mountain just to carve this stuff. It's actually insane, and it just makes me respect like our predecessors even more for being able to build this stuff. Like, it's incredible. And look at how high, I mean, you'll see later, but look at how high some of this stuff goes. Remember, there were no steps, so they had to go all the way up there by carving their way and just going up the mountain. They had to have been so in shape. So unbelievably in shape. Great view of the temple from up here. Look at that. It's huge, man. It's cool. You can see the stairs that they built for the tourists as well. Those stairs and these wooden stairs they built for the tourists because obviously I don't think any of us would want to try to jump up these or climb up them. Here's another great stone arch. So whenever you see these ones that have a little roof on the top, it basically shows that this area was for the very high caste, like the top of the top, the cream of the crop. They were the only ones that were allowed to go into one of these bad boys, and you'll see these a lot. So anytime you see these, just know these are for like the high religious cream of the crop, top of the top of the top, like basically the president or the CEO, the emperor, things like that. Yeah, the Twitch streamers. Yeah, 100%. This is the let's see from where, the west side basically of Ollantaytambo. More of the beautiful terrain. Lots of farming. You'll notice. Oh, and there's also more temples over there, as you can see. These things, we saw a few in our first days. We would not realize or just truly appreciate these are literally everywhere. Even on the train ride to Machu Picchu, which we'll get into later, these are just, they're everywhere. They're on the sides of like every mountain. It just shows how far they went. It's incredible. But yeah, all the farming in different areas. They love their farming. They farm a lot of stuff. Corn, quinoa. I have a new appreciation for quinoa after trying a bunch of quinoa-based stuff. Corn, quinoa, agave, pumpkins, carrots, tomatoes, like pretty much anything you could think of. Avocado. Oh, by the way, avocados originate from South America, not Mexico, so get that straight. That's another beautiful view of the west side of the city. I mean, just look at how fucking big these mountains are. It's amazing. The entirety of Peru and Cusco is in the mountains, and they're huge. Oh yeah, I didn't get this fully in frame. But yeah, this rock is fucking massive. And once again, they had to get this up here. And this is like, so basically from here, that's the bottom where we started pretty much. And we're like, oh, you know, maybe another 50, 100 feet up. They had to carry this up the mountain. And as Marcos stated, how many people do you think had to, or how many people do you think had to carry this up? And I'm like, I don't even want to know. Like, fucking 50? Maybe more? Because this thing is heavy, and it's huge. I love that my finger's in the shot. Another great view of all the farming. Yeah, as you can tell, like I said, I'm not a big, I'm not good at taking pictures, so excuse the fingers that might be in some of these shots. As you can see, is my fat, stupid finger. Yep, more temples over there. You can even see it. All these layers that were used for farming. And according to what Marcos is saying, each of these layers was basically used to farm a different item. So, like, let's say, you know, one layer was used to farm quinoa, one was used to farm corn, one was used to farm grapes or wheat or whatever. You're not a big fan of quinoa? I honestly wasn't. Until I tried a bunch of different quinoa stuff. I'm still not, like, the biggest fan of it, but when you use it in the right mixtures and the right recipes, it's actually really, really good. Like, there was like quinoa chips that we had on the train. Holy shit, they were so good. They tasted just like tortilla chips, pretty much. Quinoa cookies were pretty good as well. And there's quinoas mixed in a bunch of different stuff. So if you use it right, it's really good. But yeah, I wasn't like the biggest fan of it. I'm still not. But I do have a new appreciation for it just after, you know, how we saw it. And I don't know if I got a picture of the quinoa plant, but the quinoa plants are beautiful as well. So yeah. Just look at fucking mountains are so big. So big. And look, the friggin' temple even extends all the way over here. They were starting to build another one before they had to stop because of the war. I mean, they were gonna make this whole damn thing a temple, basically. Ah, the different architectures you can see. Big slabs. And as I'll explain more as well, a lot of this stuff is part of the bedrock, so some of the stuff is used to support the other rocks. Just look at this freaking thing. They had to carve this. Look at how smooth it is, too. This is definitely ink, and you can even see some, I may have gotten a picture, but you can even see some little divots. Like, they were starting to carve some pretty intricate things in here. And now we go back down to the bottom area, just for some nice shots of some of the buildings that surround the area. More of the rocks they were going to use to build. And yeah, they basically use rocks to carve the rocks. And yeah, that's how they did it. I mean, literally. Remember that rock that was a different color? That was the rock they used to carve the rocks. That's how they did it. They didn't have machinery or jackhammers. They just used harder rocks to carve softer rocks. That's literally, and they did it over thousands and thousands of years. Like, remember, whoever built this, like whoever started carving this, unfortunately probably never got to see the finished product because they died before it was finished. The same thing with, like, all these. Like, whoever started it never got to see the end because it took that long. So it's just incredible. Like, think about that. Think it'd be like, hey, man, you're going to start this temple, but and you're going to work on it for, 50, 60, 70 years because they live to be about 55 to 65 years old. And you're never going to see the end of it. Like, you're going to die before you finish it. And they're like, well, you know what? That's okay. That's kind of how it went. Yeah, just more like little carvings and things like that. Another huge temple on this side. Oh, this was used to support a roof at one point. I think they took it off the roof that was like of this building and put it right there with a bench. Because why not? Yeah, in the background you could just see how big that freaking temple is. It's amazing. And yeah, we went all the way up there, basically. Ceremonias Fuentes. Here's a great view of the other temple. So yeah, this one is the main temple, but this was the temple that was directly to the right of it. Still huge, though. I mean, it's just amazing how freaking big these are. Thousands and thousands, or hundreds to thousands of years of work just to create that. And this is the water temple. Because, water. They basically use these to purify the soul. Kind of like a baptism in a way. Purify the soul and to wash and things like that. And there's my fucking finger. And what is actually very interesting about this area in particular, as Marcos told us, this is one of the very few areas in ancient Peru where the high caste people and like the workers and lower caste people worked and lived together. Usually the high caste would be very separated from the lower caste because, they're the lower caste. They're the workers and the porters and the farmers and all that, where the high caste were the big dogs, the one in charge. But Ollantaytambo was one of like 3 areas where they lived in the same area. The high caste would be walking around with the lower caste, and I wonder if that had to be good for morale, honestly. How was the weather? Warm. It was pretty much like highs of the 70s and lows in the 60s in Lima. In Cusco, since it was high altitude, it was basically like highs of like 60 to 70s, but lows in about the 30s and 40s. Beautiful weather. It got a little bit warm on some days, but it really wasn't that bad. It was beautiful weather. Yeah. More ruins right here. So this is the water temple, and this is basically taking a picture of the water temple behind us. Yeah, just like this is the area where the workers and the porters walked and lived, and this is one of the only areas where the high caste were with them. And there's the warehouse in the top over there, and more ruins as well. Another big arch, usually for the high caste. There's a Marcos talking to his friend, and there it is, Ollantaytambo. Very, very hard to say. I will probably never say it right. And that is Ollantaytambo. Also, one thing I should note, I know this is a freaking Hyundai, but people in Peru love Suzukis. I don't know why, but Suzuki is a huge car brand in Peru. Like almost everyone and their grandma was driving a Suzuki in Cusco. I don't know why, but I mean Suzuki's everywhere. All right, so this next area, this is a picture heading up to I believe it's called Morai, and I'll spell that in chat. I know it's spelled Moray, but I believe it's said Morai. So this is Morai. There's some sheep. There's more tourist buses there as well. So this is Morai, and something you might automatically see that is different is, wait, so if you go back to this one, these ones are more like steps, right? They're very horizontal. They're up on a mountain. They're there, and that's it. So then why in the world are these ones circular? It's because they were appeasing and preaching to different gods. I believe this was like they made this temple for the god of like land fertility, who was a female god, by the way. Not all of them are female, but there are some, and that is why this one is circular, for all the rain, and the mountain was also behind them. I think was named after the same god. Oop. Why? Video pause. Continue watching. Yes. Why would I? God damn it, YouTube. But yeah, Morai was beautiful. So yep, this is circular because they were preaching to a different god, and made very differently, but still just as beautiful. But as you can see right there, there are actually steps. These were the steps they had to use to to get the rocks where they needed to be. And isn't that amazing? That's all they had. And some of these steps are like only as like wide as 1 foot. It's ridiculous. And these little rectangular things, I believe, were sacrificial altars, if I remember correctly. Either altars or sacrificial altars. But yeah, built very differently. But these ones were indeed finished, which is nice. And once again, just based on the architecture, the rocks, pre-Incan. Here's another picture of the same. But yeah, you can also see like the comparison of the normal terraces, or you know, the more common ones, terraces / temples, and the very few that they made that were circular. This is the only one we saw on the tour, or the only ones we saw on the tour that were circular. There's my fucking finger again. But yeah, look at this thing. Isn't it just amazing how they built it? Kind of looks like, it almost kind of looks like a human a little bit, like a human outline. And once again, there's a comparison of the circular to the more normal, common temples, which are more flat and like step-like. So now, this one clearly is like, oh, this one's complete, nice, this one's awesome. This one's a bit different, huh? Well, in fact, so the first one is over there, basically. This one is much older. If I remember from what Marcos said, this one is about 200 years older than the first one. And you might be wondering, why the hell there's piles of rocks around? Well, those piles of rocks are basically used for restoration. The government, I think it was the government of Peru, wants to restore a lot of these, you know, just for like tourist purposes, restoration purposes, historical purposes. However, as Marcos explained to us, it's actually not a good idea because some of these rocks are not time perfect. And what I mean by that is they're not in the same time period as the rocks that are already here. Like basically all these piles of rocks were formed by the people who want to restore these areas because, because they think like, oh, this is the time period for it. It has to be. But then more, science and stuff, more people come and be like, no, wait, those are not the rocks that are part of this time period. So don't put them on or else you're going to ruin the authenticity of, of these ruins. And so it's a whole thing. Like, I think they stopped restoring this one because they're basically in a stalemate. Like, they still haven't concluded and figured out whether or not these rocks are from the same period as the ones that are already there. So it's a whole ongoing thing. But yes, this one is much older. Oh yeah, and I think that was I only got a few pictures from here because there was only a few pictures taken. But then, so this is the second one. This is the third one. And would you believe it? This one is even older. So this one is about 400 years older than the second, which would make it about 600 years older than the first. And once again, you can see the rocks are getting ready, but of course they had to stop restoring because they are still in kind of a big stalemate about, are they authentic to the surrounding ones? They don't know. They're still trying to figure it out. It's a whole controversial thing. But, yeah. They're trying to make it as authentic as possible, but it's very tough. But yeah, so this one, so basically, first one, the newest one, or the youngest one. Second one, which is the second oldest. And then third one, which is the kind of like the grandfather. So, yeah. It's not just a hole, Parker. It's a part of history, and that's why it's such a big deal. Like, yes, you might look at this and be like, well, it's just a hole in the ground. But no, it's a temple. It's an ancient pre-Incan temple. It's very important to the culture and the history of Peru, and that's why they're in such a stalemate and trying to figure out how to restore it. So they want to do it right, and I'm actually really appreciate that because if it ain't authentic, then it's, a lot of the history gets lost with that. And also, I should mention, it's a complete mystery why, like, they have an idea of why they made this to basically praise the god, but they don't really know how they did it or truly why they did it. So, yeah. All right, so that was Moré. Now we are on to the salt mines. Yes, the salt mines of Maras, as you can see right here. Oops. These are literally mines that mine salt. This is all salt. Salt. I mean, look at it. It's literally salt, and holy crap, is it absolutely incredible. Look at how, I mean, you'll see how big it is later, but it is absolutely massive. And a bit of an interesting thing is, like, why salt? Well, back in the old days of the Incans, salt was extremely powerful. If you had salt, you had a lot of power. Because they could take the salt and, bring it to the people of the Amazon, different tribes, barter with them, be like, hey, we've got the salt and the army. Do you want to join our crew? And they'd be like, yeah, you got the salt. So, but yeah, this is literally all salt. You can kind of see the differences, too. If, like, this is the white salt, the good salt. This is more like the brown salt. And it literally all comes from the Manantial, the saltwater spring. It literally comes out of the mountain. This one spring inside this huge mountain is producing all of this wonderful salt water that goes over here through little streams and banks that you can actually see one of the streams right there. So that is a saltwater stream. And they basically have little, like, rock plugs. They can put it to this area, whatever areas they want, and all that. Also, yeah, you definitely have enough salt in my streams. Only if I'm playing Sonic Unleashed or Frontiers DLC or something like that. Now, you might be wondering, what the fuck is this guy doing standing in the salt water? Well, actually, funny enough, I was confused as well. He is cleaning the salt. What he's doing is he's basically separating the clay and the other materials from the salt because when the salt comes down, it deposits clay, pebbles, rocks, salt, and all that stuff. So he's basically separating the clay with his feet to get to the salt and have it rise up once it evaporates. Very fascinating. Yeah, like, just look how big it is. Can you sip the salty water? No, because you will die. Because there's literally more than just salt. It's like dirt, clay, sand, some salt. I mean, yeah, if you want to get, stomach poisoning, if you want to die, then go for it. But yeah, look at how freaking massive it is. And as a note as well, this is actually one of the only remaining active salt mines in the entire country. Because, and they specifically said this, they kept it open because of tourism. Like, we as tourists are the only reason they are keeping this open is so that they could see the process and the landscape. So, you know, it kind of sucks that the only reason they're keeping it open is for us, but at the same time, I'm actually very grateful the fact that we get to still see how the process works and that they're keeping this open for the tourists. It's really cool. Yep, you can see some salt right there. Some of it's already dried up, ready to go. And so there's actually 3 layers. So in America, we love pink Himalayan salt, don't we? Well, the funny thing is in Peru, they actually couldn't give a shit about the pink salt. They literally could not give a fuck about pink salt. The white salt, which is the top layer, is the one you want. If you had the white salt, you were powerful. You were good to go. You could barter with pretty much anybody. The second layer was the pink salt, and they honestly really don't care about that. Maybe they'd use it in cooking, but not really. They just kind of get rid of it. And then the final layer is brown salt, which is basically used for cowlicks and the salt you put on icy roads. That's it. They do not like the brown salt. It's pretty much useless. To them, at least. They could use it for, you know, those things I just mentioned. But yeah, the pink salt, whereas in America, it's like, oh, this is great. They couldn't care. It's all about the white salt. So, very different. But yeah, just look at how fucking big it is. Look how big it is. It's amazing. Just absolutely massive. Just on the side of a mountain. You know, no big deal. Maybe you can see more of the white salt that's already cultivated. Actually, I wonder, do I get a... Oh, yes, you can kind of see in this little shot... These are the bags. Thousands of bags of white salt cultivated. Did I try any of it? I didn't, but they did give us 2 free bags. I think we kept one of them. One of them was given to a friend. So the next time we have something like cooking, we're going to try some pink Peruvian salt. So not yet, but I will. Yeah, here's the shot from the top of the road where we drove in. Look at just how massive. And it's all salt. Yeah, this is the one side, and it kind of like continues right there. It is absolutely huge. And there it is, Marisol. And this is where they actually keep the bags so that they could ship it to other spots. They have 3 different buildings. They have this one, and this one over here as well. Yeah, I know I said the pink was the mid-tier, but that's the one that they were giving out for free because they don't care. So, you know. It'll still be good, but they just, for some reason, the Peruvians don't really care about the pink. They only want the white. So, yeah. And that is Maras. Absolutely stunning. I mean, I know my mom got a beautiful panoramic shot on her iPhone. Oh, just a note as well, that right there over there is the Sacred Valley. So just to kind of show you how relatively close it is to, you know, Moray and Maras. All right, so our next part leads us to the main event, the big reason why we came to Peru in the first place. Machu Picchu. This is at the train station in Ollantaytambo. Because, yeah, we went back to Ollantaytambo because the train leads to Machu Picchu. It's the only way to get there. Or I think it's the only way to get there. And we did the Vista Dome. Yep, a Belmont train, Machu Picchu. All right, so this is actually a picture that was taken by somebody else. Nice nipples. These are some of the dancers that were on the train, and we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, they basically had a little area in the train where you could basically have a party, and it was really, really fun. And these 2 were the dancers. I guess my nipples are out for some reason because, you know, I'm fat. Because why not? Yeah, I think he took like a bunch of pictures of the dancers. But yeah, look at those awesome. Look at the costumes, the colors, the masks. The cool, like, handheld canes and things like that. You got the kind of like the Wolfman and the weird demon girl. It was very cool. Oh, did I not get the video? Oh, maybe the video's here somewhere. Give me 1 second. I want to see if I can find the video. Was there? I did get a video of the fun times we had. Oh, maybe the video's at the very back. Let me see. Yeah, here we go. Oh, I also want to apologize. I might just mute the audio because the audio for some reason, although my phone takes really good video, for some reason the audio is garbage. So please excuse that. But yeah, here's a video of the dancers. Oh, also, I didn't realize that during the filming I flipped my phone over, and so it's all like backwards and shit, so once again, please excuse that. So yeah, I know it's wrong resolution. Yes, this is the back of the train where they have a party. And you get to see the dancers, the other people. Confused ass kid. I think there's also, yeah, you can also see there's the band in the back. It literally is a party train, yeah. Everyone got to do it at some point. And once again, I apologize for the... I literally, like, I had it started, like, or this, and I flipped it like that, thinking it would automatically flip, and it didn't, because once again, I don't use my phone for this stuff very often. So, you know, just kind of look at it like this, and you'll get it. But isn't that cool? The audio's shit, because for some reason like I said, my phone does not take great audio, but look at the picture quality. It's actually quite good. Cheap phone. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So they danced the night away basically. And let me see. I think I have one more video about that where everyone was having a good time. I think it's this one. Yeah. I only took a few videos. I mostly took pictures, but this was this time I actually got the full video in the right the right setup. And yeah, so this is just everyone having a good time. The dancers were dancing because they were playing some music. They were playing La Bamba. Yeah, you can see everyone having a good time. Do the have masks on? What? What are you asking, Parker? I'm confused. I'm gonna get copyright stricken. Goddamn, that's okay. If you can see the dancers right there, the band's in the back. They had a guitarist slash singer, a bassist and singer, and a drummer. Did the dancers have masks on? They do. They're right there. They literally played La Bamba, which I've heard so many times because they Los Lobos plays it. Yeah, once again, I'm not really sure why my phone just takes such shit audio, but... Oh yeah, and this song too. Yeah, it's literally just like a party train. I gave the band a tip too because the band was actually very good. And think about this too, they gotta dance and do all this shit on a moving train, and because this is like near the front and the back, it was kind of swaying pretty hard from left to right. So much respect. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was really cool. I don't remember if I got any picture of my mom. I think she was like behind me or something. But yeah, so it was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of fun. Literally just a party train. So like they basically there were like, it was numbered A through F, I believe, and they basically just had each one go one at a time for like 15 to 30 minutes, go back, and then go back to their seats. It was a lot of fun. And yeah. So let's get back to the pictures. I have one more video to show, which I'll also actually be posting to my YouTube later. But yeah. But yeah, as you can see, Parker, right there, they got the she's got like a female demon mask, and he's got like a, I don't know what that is, some sort of like a Lobos wolf mask or something like that. Also, back to the music. Oh, cool. It's funny. I literally brought the music back up, and it's showing a picture of the salt mines. That's so funny. All right, so let's see. All right, so now we have arrived at the town of Machu Picchu. And this is the spring or river that was accompanying it. There it is, Machu Picchu Pueblo. Now, one interesting thing about the town of, we'll get to that in a second. The town of Machu Picchu is, this entire town is built purely on tourism. The people that are in those buildings are workers. That's it. Like, this entire town was built purely for tourism. It was literally built just to draw you in and get your money. And as Marcos is being very, honest and saying, The only reason this town exists is for tourism. So all those people there are there to work. They don't, I think there's only like a few people that actually live there in, I think these buildings right back there. Did I see any Maine wolves? I did not. It was pretty much just alpaca, the largest hummingbird on the planet, which I forgot the name of. We couldn't get a picture because it was too quick. Alpaca and some other birds. Lobos guararas, yeah. But yeah, so this entire town is built purely on tourism. They're only there to work and to get your money, and which is fine. But yeah, this town would not exist without tourism, which is pretty interesting. Here's one of the statues of the Incans, Machu Picchu Pueblo. Hanan Pacha. This is like, I believe this is like the three... I don't know why. I'll just delete that one. I don't know why that one's there. There we go. Just like Traverse City. I don't know what that is, but sure, just like Traverse City. Also a pigeon. And yeah, so this is like the first stage of the being. And I think this is like the second stage. Like this is our stage of being, of the human. This is like the ascension, the true state, and this is like the lower state or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but pretty cool plaques. These are just sitting on some stairs. What does it say again? Oh, that's a thing of Machu Picchu. We're gonna get to Machu Picchu in a little bit, and it's gonna. Oh man, it was amazing. I want to go back. Bienvenidos a Machu Picchu. Oh, this is from inside the hotel. So the hotel that we stayed at in Machu Picchu is one of the most beautiful goddamn hotels I've ever stayed at. It was called the Sumac Hotel. Sumac Aguas Calientes, and this is like the first thing I saw when I walked in. This beautiful golden thing, along with the masks of many Incan warriors. Which I don't know if that's real gold, but it's either real gold or gilded. Machu Picchu. This is the mountain that basically leads to it. But yeah, this entire town is all tourism, basically. It's still a pretty town, but purely built off tourism. This is a bench. Alright, so this, I believe, was one of the views, I think on the bus ride? Yeah, I think I got this from, like, the view from the bus or something. Or this might have been from the gates of Machu Picchu. But once again, you can just kind of see how freaking high up, because those are the mountains, and there's the clouds. Very high elevation. I think it was about 9,000 feet. Just beautiful. Alright, here we go. This is the main event. This is what we came here for. I mean, just to give a little bit of a backstory on how important this was. So originally, the plan was for my mom and her boyfriend to go to Machu Picchu on their 2-year anniversary. And a little bit more backstory to that. My mom has basically been wanting to go to Machu Picchu since she was a child. When she saw, I think she said The Life of the Rich and Famous is the show that she watched where they went to Machu Picchu. And ever since then, she's wanted to go. So 40-some years later, she finally got to fulfill one of her lifelong dreams and go to Machu Picchu. And I swear, I shit you not, the moment she saw, like, this, because I think this is the first thing, this is, like, the first building we saw when we walked in to, like, actually walked into the gates of Machu Picchu, was this, she literally started crying, because she's been waiting for her entire life. I mean, this was a huge, like, dream of hers, was to go to Machu Picchu. And so when they told me that, I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then they were like, do you want to go with us? And at first, for some dumb reason, I was like, we'll see. And then I think like a day later, I was like, no, what am I thinking? I'm going to fucking say no to going to Machu Picchu? What am I, an idiot? And so we saved up our money and we went. And this is the first thing you see. This little house and these little ruins. Here we go. You want to visit Seattle, ocean on one side, mountains on the other, rains a lot, it's perfect. Seattle's pretty awesome. Hey, visit Portland too. It's pretty much the same thing. Yeah, look at just how beautiful the mountains are. And I should mention why it's so much more lush is because Machu Picchu is much closer to the Amazon than Cusco or Peru is. Or, excuse me, Cusco or Lima is. The mountains are much more lush because of the different humidity and the different altitude as well. Because it's closer to the Amazon. The Amazon basically makes this atmosphere, and it's just incredible. And here we go. Machu Picchu, at least part of it. Little shack hut. Machu Picchu was built, God, pre-Incan, so at least like 5 to 600 AD. So literally like almost 2,000 years ago at this point. Absolutely incredible architecture. We'll get into more of it later. I took a lot of pictures of Machu Picchu, so don't you worry. Yep, to Machu Picchu Mountain. Oh, and I should mention, so the ruins themselves are not named Machu Picchu. They actually, historians, and Marcos told us this, they don't know the true name of Machu Picchu because the previous people who inhabited it before the Incas didn't leave a name. So the true name of the ruins is unknown, and it will never be known. It's lost to history. But the mountain that sits in front of behind Machu Picchu is actually called Machu Picchu, so Machu Picchu Mountain. And they're like, well, since we don't know a name, let's just name the ruins after the mountain. And there you go. So just keep that in mind, that the true name of the ruins, it's unknown, and it will never be known unless we get time machines. Yeah, so that's Machu Picchu Mountain. That's also to the Sun Gate, which is one of the more important areas, but we'll get into that later. Also, llamas, or, llamas. Dude, it's Cusco. Remember his new groove. Cusco's poison. Yeah, llamas are cute. It was also raining that day, so the llamas got a nice bath. Look how cute they are. It's Cusco. It's fucking David Spade. This is, I wasn't able to pet him. They were off limits, but this is actually one of my favorite pictures. Damn, I should make this a canvas, actually. The llama with the background and just the clouds. Oh. You need to pet him? Well, you can't, unfortunately. You could pet the alpaca, but not the llamas. They were off limits. Because I think they just live there. Because once again, they just eat grass and poop and sleep. Alright, so here we go. You can see a little bit of Machu Picchu in the background. This is where we officially begin. These wonderful not brick walls, but rock walls. Just amazing. Once again. And let's also remember once again. Surrounding Machu Picchu is basically nothing but mountains. So, and it's like 9,000 to 10,000 feet up above sea level. So, just keep that in mind. This was not easy to get to this. Like, that's a big mountain. These are all big mountains. All of this is the surroundings of Machu Picchu's all mountains. All of this. So, just how in the world were they able to get to this place? Well, I'll explain that later. Also, yeah, so don't trip. Oh, we'll get to that later as well, because, yeah, don't trip. And there it is. That is Machu Picchu right there. Absolutely wondrous. Just built in the mountain. It's just way high up in a random mountain. No big deal. Surrounded by literally other mountains. Really hard to fucking get to. You can actually see there's something up there as well. There's another ruin up at the very peak of this mountain, which is called Huayna Picchu. And we'll get more into Huayna Picchu later. It's so green it is. This nice little grass that grows. And think about this too. When the Spaniards, or whoever originally discovered this, it was all like forest and lush and shit. So it was very hard to find. Because this entire thing was basically covered by green. Obviously now, they cut the green down and made, they found the ruins and everything, which I think was discovered like the 1800s, or discovered like officially in the 1800s or early 1900s or something like that. Like basically the first person to document Machu Picchu was in like the late 1800s, early 1900s or something like that. And yeah, he found it and it was just in the middle of like this big forest. He's like, holy shit, there's ruins here. Imagine finding that, right? Imagine like going through this forest and this big trail and all that, and then just running into like ancient ruins, older than you can even imagine. Like that must have been a hell of a discovery. But yep, that's Machu Picchu right there. Oh, nice. I got a bit more illumination there too. Yeah, look at all the different buildings, the architecture, all the temples surrounding it. I mean, there's literally temples like surrounding this entire thing. And yeah, we'll just show you some more pictures. Oh yeah, that over there is a, I believe it was like kind of like a sundial in a way. Ah, oh, Machu Picchu. Like I said, Mom was so elated because this was literally a lifelong dream for her that she was like crying her eyes out. Poor thing. She'd been waiting literally her whole life for this. She was so happy. Yep, so I tried to get a good zoom in on Huayna Picchu. So think about this for a second. This is Machu Picchu. To make this, they basically had to climb all the way up there with no steps, no ladders, no like crossings, no nothing. Climbed all the way up, and just to know, this is about 1,000 feet from there to there. And once again, I'll get more into that later. But yeah. Oh, you could do it, yeah, without any sort of steps, or with rain. So sliding down a steep cliff at like a 85-degree angle, also having to carry giant stones. You could do it, sure. Just go back in time and try it. Yep, those are the ruins of Huayna Picchu. Oh, that's right. We got a view of Machu Picchu from a different angle, and just look at how beautiful. Look at all the ruins too, and all the temples. You're just built different. Yeah, sure. But yeah, it's just like more temples with windows because of the sun. Maybe this little area where these are rocks that were left over for when they were going to build more, but they never did. So they were just left there to time. And you can see some of the rocks that are getting ready for restoration. But once again, the restoration projects are a little bit controversial because they still haven't quite figured out if those rocks are era accurate, basically. And yeah, this is also, oh, where was it? I just remember one of these areas is one of the more controversial areas. I think it's this one right here. So this area is one of the more controversial areas of this Machu Picchu because of where it's built. So you can see like these temples are basically built for their gods and their religion and all that. However, some of the high caste members late in the Incan Empire basically decided to build this like area, their own like high religious area for themselves on top of the temples. And you could probably imagine they obviously they don't know exactly because it's like a civil war basically broke out right after this. You could probably imagine like, okay, cool, you're just gonna build this like little private area for yourself on top of our temples, you know, worshiping nature and the mountains and everything. That's fucking cool, I guess. So you could probably imagine how not kind of PO'd the workers and the porters were, that they just decided to build this on top of this temple. And we don't know if that was a direct cause of the Civil War, but it could have been. Because think about it, like if you were building this for the land and for the mountains, the mountain gods, and these asshole high castes just come in and be like, nah, I'm just gonna build on top of that for basically like a private resort, pretty much. I'd be kind of upset too. Not gonna lie, NGL. But yeah, but we'll get into that more because I think I have some pictures of that. But yeah, just absolutely fucking beautiful. Oh, this is the River Urubamba, the Urubamba River, which leads to the Amazon, just like Cusco wanted. Yeah, maybe it's Cusco's fucking thing. Goddamn it, Cusco. But yeah, the River Urubamba is fucking massive. I don't exactly know how long it is. I'm actually gonna check right now. How long the Urubamba River is, because we literally saw the Urubamba from the area of where our hotel was in Cusco all the way down our train ride to Machu Picchu, which is like 30 miles. Urubamba River. Let's see how long it is. 450 miles. Holy shit. It is huge. The funny thing is, like, that seems big, but that's not even, like, nearly as big as, like, the Amazon or something. But it basically leads to the Amazon. It apparently leads to the Tambo and the Ucayali River, which then leads to the Amazon. But, yeah, so long river. Beautiful river. It was very brown, of course, because, you know, the water. But just a gorgeous river. More Machu Picchu shots. God, it's so beautiful. I just still can't believe I was actually there. It was like a dream. It really was. Just absolutely amazing. Just how beautiful the surrounding mountains are too. Like, it's just so green. It's so lush because it's so close to the Amazon. And to the, you know, Peru. I didn't realize when we got there, but Lima is, although Lima and Cusco are pretty far apart, Lima is actually like a coastal town, which I didn't know. Also, Lima's population is 12 million. It's a fucking huge city. Huge city. Like, I couldn't even believe it. Yeah, just beautiful. 400 miles is a lot. The Mississippi is also huge too. But yeah, 400 miles is a lot. And the funny thing is that's like a dwarf compared to the Amazon River. Yeah, just gorgeous. I love this shot too with the cloud. You can see like the difference of the illumination because of the no clouds and all the clouds. Because yeah, on the first day of Machu Picchu, it rained a little bit. Nice relief from the sun though. But yep, Machu Picchu there. Urubamba right there. I like already miss it. This is a great shot from the illumination. Getting to see all the detail of the different rocks. And as you'll see, there's many different rocks. Because once again, many different people have inhabited this. Like Machu Picchu is definitely pre-Incan by like a lot, but the Incans eventually did inhabit it and build their own things. What was the rain like? It rained very briefly, but it was pretty big pellets. Definitely was much different than the Oregon rain, which is more of like a mist. It reminded me a lot of the Arizona rain when we would get the very few times we got rain. But yeah, so see this carved rock? This carved rock is basically equivalent to the mountain behind it. It's almost like a little sundial type thing with the solstices and everything. It's very interesting because once again, like how the hell did they know that? They're very smart. There's Marcos, our tour guide. Best man. There's a good shot where we went to a different little step, but look at that. So like, it's actually a good comparison because like with this little step, you're like, oh, that just ends there, right? Nope. Still goes down all the way down there. And you can see they were definitely trying to build more this way. Oh, and I should also mention they usually built from bottom to top, but sometimes, like if the foundation wasn't very solid, they would build from top to bottom. Like I think right here they built from top to bottom. I think this one too, but most of these ones were built from bottom, so like they would start there and build their way upwards. But yeah, just amazing. Here's another good, another great shot of Machu. So the first day we didn't explore too much of Machu Picchu. It was mostly the outskirts. But the second day we got more in depth with it. And you can see the architecture of different buildings. And each section is basically corresponded to a different people. So like, I believe this section was more for like the high caste, the high religious, the cream of the crop. You know, this area is for more like the porters and the workers. This one was more for like the stonesmiths, things like that. And yeah, did they actually sacrifice people? I believe they did. And as Marcos explained to us, some of the people in those days were basically born and bred to be sacrificed. Like they were basically born knowing that one day they would be sacrificed or would sacrifice themselves for, you know, whatever higher power or like the mountain, you know, as a gift and things like that. Religion was very weird. I mean, it still is, but religion was very weird back then. Like, you were basically, some people were born knowing, like, I'm going to be sacrificed for the good of the land or the good of my people, so, yeah. But yes, they did. And also animals, because, you know, also that. Yeah, just look at that, the beautiful mountain in the background, the beautiful Huayna Picchu. There was a smaller mountain as well. I think it might be that one that you could also climb, but we, well, I'll get to that later. Oh, did it fucking pause it again? Oh, no, it just swapped. Okay, it just swapped songs. I was about to say, like, what the fuck? But once again, another great shot of just the surround. Like, look at how many freaking mountains there are, and they're so huge. All of this surrounding Machu Picchu. Like, everywhere. That's why it's like, how the heck did they build this so high up in such a remote area? It was amazing. Just beautiful. Yeah, the detail on the rocks. I gotta say, my phone actually takes much better pictures than I thought it did. Yeah, just amazing. Machu Picchu, man. Such a rich history, too. But yeah, a lot of these, as you can see, are pre-Incan, but there are some Incan structures in here once they found it. As you can see, like, right there with the bedrock and things like that. Yeah. Yeah, welcome to this world, baby Timmy. You'll grow up to be big and strong, then sacrifice. Yep, I mean... Yeah, that's some... I mean, some of them were born, and they knew that they were going... I think most of the time it was to sacrifice themselves, not necessarily to be sacrificed by another. And, you know, once you sacrifice yourself, you'll be blessed, and your family would be blessed, and your crops and your harvest would be blessed forever, basically. That was the reason that they were born to do that, is to give cultivation to the mountain gods, or, you know, the sun gods, water gods, things like that. Whatever god they believed in, basically. Yep, another gray area. I believe this is more high cast, but I could be wrong. I want to say it was, though. But yeah, you can see these big rocks right here. These are basically the foundational stones. Some of these are bedrock and were never moved. So what did they do? They just build on top of it. You got a big-ass stone that's never going to move because it's part of the mountain. Just build on top of it. There you go. And smart. They had a lot of those, honestly. Once again, very impressive, the building and the architecture. I love this lone tree in the middle. This was planted like 30, 40 years ago or something. There used to be 3, but I think 2 of them got, I don't know, destroyed or uprooted or something like that. And also, yeah, natural defense, a very good point. Here's a good example of like parts that were destroyed, but they're trying to get them restored. But once again, as I've said before, it's going to be tough to get it restored because they're still not quite sure if those rocks are the same ones they used. They want to be as era accurate as possible to truly preserve the history. But yeah, just amazing. It is huge too. I mean, it's obviously not like a massive city like LA or something, but just the way they did it. And you can see more of the foundational pieces right here. The bit, like, this thing is definitely stuck in the mountain, so just carve it out a little bit, build on top of it, and boom, done. Really, really smart. Like this one too. That fucking thing ain't moving, so just put some rocks on top of it. Ah, here we go. Do not touch, you filthy animals. But yeah, this is one of the entryways leading into Machu Picchu. And once again, if you see an entryway like this that has a roof over it, basically means that you are the cream of the crop. You are entering the, you know, the resort, the country club of your, you know, this area. Also, yeah, I wouldn't want to climb a whole ass mountain just to fight some people. Yeah, exactly, too. Yeah, they usually didn't have to do that. Usually the Incans are pretty persuasive. They'd be like, hey, I have a big-ass army, so you're going to help me fight. Or, you know, you could die. And they usually were just like, all right, we'll join you. It was pretty peaceful. Honestly, the way the Incans got fucked was civil war. There was a lot of power structure and differences because people had different views, and they fought, and they basically ended their own empire because of it. So, rip. We have the power of the sun, exactly. So yeah, this is basically where we were for some of these pictures, like right here. And now we're actually in the town of Machu Picchu, and that's where we were. Once again, more temples up there. And so this right here, this mountain, that's Machu Picchu. So this mountain is basically where the ruins get their name. Because once again, we don't know the true name of the ruins of Machu Picchu. The true name is lost to time from the first peoples that inhabited it. Which is a shame, because I would love to know the true name. So they just call it Machu Picchu based on the mountain. Yeah, look at how steep this is. And I believe it goes even further down. Oh, Chinchilla, by the way. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I believe this goes pretty much all the way down, like there, or something like that. I think I'll get a good picture of it later. But, just amazing. And once again, for a lot of these, they built all the way from the bottom up. So they had to go there, and there, and there, and there, all the way up. So, just incredible architecture. Oh, so, do you see this little strip of this indentation in the mountain right here, where the hand symbol, where I'm grabbing that. So that is actually the trail that leads into Machu Picchu, and that is called the Inca Trail. That thing, if you wanted to hike it, takes about 5 days. And do you know where it starts? It starts all the way back in Ollantaytambo. It is about 25 to 30 miles long, I believe. And that's not just a straight path. That is going through mountains upon mountains, different divots and steps and all things like that. This is literally how they did it. This is how they got into Machu Picchu and made it. Is from this. This is the original trail that the Incans took to get to Machu Picchu, and it started all the way in Ollantaytambo, which is where we started the train. So I should mention too, our original plan when we first got did this, we were gonna hike the Inca Trail, but after my mom started experiencing some pain in her knees, we decided to cancel that and basically just do more. So like instead of just doing, because like basically we saw all this stuff in this, this whatever. If we had done the Inca Trail, we wouldn't have not have seen any of this that I've shown you. We would have just done the trail, done Machu Picchu, maybe done the other hike, which I'll get into later, and then that would have been it. Which it still would have been amazing, but yeah, we would have had to hike for 5 fucking days. Over 30 miles of mountain hiking, like pretty tough hiking. I meant to get a picture of where the trail started, but I think I was on the train at the time, and I just missed it. But yeah, it started in Ollantaytambo, which is, once again, like a 27-30 mile train ride. And remember, that's a train going pretty, like, it's flat. This is in the mountains. It's incredible. And there were some people we met that did that hike and got to the top of the peak, which is like their final destination. Also, chinchilla! There was a little chinchilla just chilling in one of these little altars. So, yeah, that's a chinchilla. Looks a lot like a rabbit. But I had never seen one before. Oh, and all these markings you see, like K5, L6, all that, this is for restoration purposes. Restoration and archaeological purposes. But yeah, chinchilla. It's awesome. This is a little indentation cave that was blocked up by some rocks. They don't know what's inside it, but you never know. Might be some aliens or some shit. Good top-down view. Look at the roof. There used to be a roof over this, but obviously got either destroyed or never finished. Yeah, just amazing. Just amazing, the architecture. Now, interesting thing about these 5 windows here. Open, closed. Open, closed, open. And once again, they believe that to be positions of the sun, because most of these things are based off the position of the sun during solstices, certain days, certain times of day, and things like that. Like all of them, literally all of them. It's amazing. Oh, here's a good picture of how freaking big this temple is. Huge, all the way down there. And look, even little smaller ones right there and there. Just amazing. Just amazing how they made it. I already want to go back. And I've only been gone for 2 days at this point now. Fuck. Just incredible. What beauty, too. Just a beautiful surrounding area. I mean, look at how lush it is from the Amazon. Just amazing. Another good picture, just like the architecture and things like that. And once again, so you can see, because of these rock structures, pre-Incan. Now, if you look down here, you can already see a very big difference in the types of rocks. So this is the Incan structures, and these are the pre-Incan structures. You can tell by the way the rocks are. If the rocks are more disheveled, not as smooth, not as lined up, it's pre-Incan. But when you see rocks that are way more smooth, like leveled out, nice edges and things like that, it's Incan. And if you see these other types of rocks here, it's because they basically are like, oh, well, we've already made this. Let's just use the leftover stuff they left and put it on top. There you go. It's just amazing. So, right here is a good example. So, pre-Incan, Incan. Pre-Incan, Incan. It's a big contrast. They just basically grab whatever rocks, just put them there. Oh, bedrock, just put rocks on top of it. But these ones are more smooth out. They're carved, and if you feel them, they're actually very smooth. It's almost like they had sandpaper on them or something. Yeah, more straight edges, more carvings in them. That looks like a butt. And yeah, it's incredible to see the contrast. And I love seeing the contrast right next to each other of the different times, the different time periods, and the different people. Yeah, look at how big some of these fucking things are. And they had to freaking either carry these or try to carve these out. It's how the hell are you supposed to do that? Just amazing. I'm actually kind of impressed I got such good pictures. I don't really take a lot of pictures on my phone, but I forgot my phone has 4 cameras or some shit, so it gets good pictures. Just not great sound from the videos. Here's the tree again. God, just beautiful. Any spooky legends? Probably, but I don't remember too much. I'll be honest. I was fed a lot of information. Like, we got so much history that I kind of, like, forgot some of it just because it was overwhelming. And because, you know, we were under kind of like a time constraint. Oh, like, don't go out at night or the chupacabra will get you. Not really legends, but there is a lot of superstitions, even to this day in Peru and other places like that. Like, a lot of the houses will have a bull, like a two-horned big bull, sitting on top of their house because it's like they think it's a sign of protection. Like, the bull's gonna protect my house from any intruders or bad weather or things like that. So, not really legends, but more superstitions, like a lot of superstitions. But that being the big one is like the thing with the bull. Because when he said that, I noticed like, oh, that person's got a bull on their on the roof of their house. Oh, that person's got a bull on the roof of their house and things like that. But in terms of legends like that, I don't think he really got into that too much. He more gave us the true history. Yeah. Oh, here's a good shot of Huayna Picchu, the big peak. So Huayna Picchu, that's right there, and this is it close up. Once again, you can see the ruins. The ruins all the way up there. If you thought Machu Picchu was high up, imagine how the fuck they got up there. It's unbelievable. I mean, granted, like some of these rocks they probably didn't have to carry. They just carved it out of the mountain, but it's still just impressive how they were even able to get up there in the first place and then be able to carve it. It's ridiculous. Another wonderful pre-Incan household. Nice little supports here, jutting out. Another little cave with some with a little altar. So but yeah, look at how big this freaking rock is. Once again, that's bedrock. That ain't fucking moving. So they're just like, oh well, that's fine. Just build on top of it. Boom, done. More pictures of those wonderful houses. Remember, all these used to have roofs. Or at least some of them did. More terraces right here. Nice little open area. A great example of just using the bedrock. Actually, this one was, because I think it started like down there, and then they built a little bit under it and on top of it. Just use what the mountain is giving you. Oh, here's a good example of the open, close, open, close, open. So once again, to kind of see the positions of the sun during certain solstices and certain times a day. And they're not 100% sure, but they believe that these ones right here had like some sort of idols in them, or statues, basically. Once again, they're not 100% sure, but it's, I think, generally accepted that there must have been something here. It's like, why would it be closed, right? Or maybe they're just for some protection or something. Ah, here we go. So this building, which we'll get into a little bit more later, is one of the more interesting and unique buildings of the entire of Machu Picchu. Well, A, because it's, you know, more circular, kind of shaped like a P, and B, because this area is very much for the high cream of the crop, like the emperor, the king, the whatever you want to call it. Same with this. This is like his personal house. You putting stuffed animals in the special idol places? Put a chinchilla or two in there. And once again, just to show you the freaking, just how huge and steep these temples were. And remember, half these, they started here. They started down there, and over, hundreds of thousands of years, carved with big hammer, maybe chisel, not even big hammer, but bigger rock, and maybe chisel, all the way up. And remember that whoever started this down here did not live to see the finished product all the way up here. In fact, even their children may not have seen the finished product. Shit, even their great-great-grandchildren may have not even seen the finished product. You'll put maned wolf plushies? Hell yeah. Once again, like, this is definitely for a very high caste religious member. Yeah. Kind of like, oh, this is actually a great picture of Marcos. I didn't mean to get that, but that's a great picture of Marcos, our tour guide, underneath the thing there. He was awesome. Special shout out to Marcos. He was a fantastic tour guide. he really became like part of our family, and I really hope to see him again someday. But yeah, kind of like road construction in a way, but just remember, at least in road construction you have, you know, like steamrollers and tractors and things. All they had was, let's say this is a rock, a bigger rock. Carve. That's it. That's all they had. I should send him that photo. I don't have his phone number, unfortunately. But if I ever get to, or maybe I'll send it to SA Expeditions or like email them or something, because that actually is a really good photo. Here's a good photo that either Matt or Mom took. That's me with my SA Expedition hat and my Eagles jacket, looking over Machu Picchu. Yep. Gee, who is that? You know what they say, Peru was built in a day. Is that what they say? I had no idea. Definitely wasn't. It was built over thousands of years. Good pictures there. Obviously, these are not taken by me because I did not clone myself, unfortunately. Would have been fucking cool if I had. But, yeah. They were right next. I think this arch is right there. More great. Yep, and once again, I think some of these steps were built in Machu Picchu, but some of them were built for the tourist, obviously, to walk around in. There's my mom. And just, yeah, look at this mountain. Look at that, like, carve in the mountain. There's the Urubamba River. Just amazing. Another big-ass rock to sit your butt down on, which is awesome. Just beautiful. I just love the like Machu Picchu is beautiful, obviously, and it's, you know, it stole the show, but like even just the surrounding mountains are just gorgeous, especially when the clouds hit them. Just amazing. This is a banger. All these songs are great. Peruvian music, man. I miss it already. Damn it. Tourists. If you could believe it. There were a lot of fucking tourists at Machu Picchu. And then apparently this is the end of the rainy season for Peru, so we came in like the perfect time. This is like literally the perfect time to go to Machu Picchu. It's like late April, early May. And so we did. Don't stop, continue, baby. Another little maybe altar area. Freaking rock in the background. Here's a good example of a lot of rocks that were going to be used for certain temples or altars and terraces, but just never were. Either they were abandoned when the Civil War started, or they just never used them. And obviously some of these you're not going to be able to move. Like this, that's bedrock. You ain't moving that, and this either. So, yeah. Another great view of the mountains with the illumination. Oh, yeah, I don't remember what this area was, but this, I believe, was a pretty important area in Machu Picchu. I believe we're now on the second day. This is when we actually got to explore more of the interior. Another little terrace area, circular, which is weird usually. Yeah, I believe this was some sort of temple. I don't remember the exact meaning of it, but this is a very important area to the folks of Machu Picchu. Different like temples for certain gods or deities and things like that. And once again, weird windows that are, some are out, some are in. Position of the sun, baby. Like these two right here. And the funny thing is, these actually are positioned to where they shine the sun, or the sun shines to them from different buildings that are below it. And you'll see in a minute. Also, this big freaking penis-looking obelisk as well. It'll all make sense. Because see, like, so you might think, oh, that's covered, right? Well, no, it actually isn't covered. These three are open. It just doesn't look like it is. Hey, here's a nice little open area. The only people that are allowed in this area are the gardeners and the people who are restoring the rocks and things like that. We were not allowed to run on this. And like the llamas and things. Another nice staircase. Original. That's all of us. Taken by Marcos. Here's me, my mom, and her boyfriend. Yep. Took a few nice pictures. He always likes to take multiples. Yeah, lots of tourists once again. Oh, see, once again, a great example of the different types of architecture. So, Incan, pre-Incan, Incan, pre-Incan. Using some of those existing rocks, carving them down, or just using whatever rocks that they had left over and putting them on top. It's fascinating seeing, like, the different types. Like, right here, again. Very cool seeing the dichotomy. I think a lot of this also is restoration. Like, when you see, like, clearly this is Incan, I think the restorers just put, like, the pre-Incan stuff on top of it just to, like, complete it and see how it would look and also that. So, yeah. Yeah, once again, just the dichotomy. And the windows to the walls. Nice original staircase. Pretty narrow, huh? Well, just fucking wait. Oh, here's a great shot of that that first terrace and temple. Just how freaking huge it is. Just incredible. But there's even... I'm standing on a terrace right now. Oop, gotta sneeze. Whew. Excuse me. But, yeah, we were actually standing on a terrace looking at a terrace. And look at how freaking wide this one was, too. Like, this is the first part, then it leads to that, and then it kind of levels up, and then it gets way taller. Oh, so beautiful. And just so amazing they were able to build it in the first place. Look at all the fucking rocks they had to use. Truly just a marvel of human nature. Human engineering and ingenuity. You definitely don't want to fall off. Yeah, no shit, right? Oh, just wait. Just wait. You think this is bad? Just wait. But yeah, it's just how big it is. It's just amazing. Yep, more windows. So these windows actually correspond to those right there. You could basically have them shining through to shine through that one just to get some natural light or to see positions of the sun. It's actually incredible that they were able to manage that. Do picture-in-picture. And once again, there's that very interesting and high-class building, which we'll get into in a second, I believe. Here's the Machu Picchu tree. Once again, there used to be 3, but the other 2 either got destroyed, cut down, or whatever. But I think this is literally planted by the workers to have some shade. Because as Marcos explained it, a lot of the workers there basically work in restoring Machu Picchu or gardening or just, you know, cleaning rocks and cleaning everything. 20 days in a row, they get 7 days off, and they do it all over again. It is a not easy work, but they are working hard to make sure that it is in peak condition and it just looks amazing and keeping all the invasive plants and things out, so props to them. Oh yeah, here's the little well area. And once again, just how big the terraces are. I was blown away. Remember, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of workers over years I can't even imagine just working on this. And once again, whoever started there down there never got to see the final product, and it's a shame. But they knew that. They knew coming in. It's like, look, you're not going to be able to finish it, but you know, you just got to work on it until you die so that we can keep, you know, so that, you know, eventually it will get finished. And they knew. They're like, all right. Part of their job. And once again, these are rocks that are used to potentially restore this area if they agree that these are the same types of rocks that were used in this construction, which is always a bit of a hit and miss because they don't know all the history. Nice enclosed area. Another little kind of like indented cave. Like, this cave used to be open, but they filled it with rocks for some reason. Hello, Yama. Another great view of just the entirety of Machu Picchu, at least the right side. Once again, this area was destroyed, but they're going to restore it at some point. We'll see. Yeah, just how lush the forest is, too. Great picture of the right side of it. God, this is another good picture. Just look at all the windows. Most of them in conjunction with the position of the sun. And as you can see, we're actually on this terrace right now, walking along it. Cool stairs. Wanya Picchu in the background, of course. Beautiful Machu Picchu sitting there. I don't remember what this... Oh, yeah, this is a... I didn't quite get it, but there was a double rainbow. I think my mom got a picture of it. There was a double rainbow because it had just recently rained in the area. So, yeah. Another nice little hut. And I think this picture, you can't really see it, but there actually were, like, things... Double rainbow all the way! There were actually, like, things inside. There was, like, benches and stoves and obviously carved out of, like, the same rocks or the clay or whatever. Obviously you can't see it from this angle, but, there were definitely things in there. We couldn't go in there, but it was really cool. Another great shot of Machu Picchu with all the terraces and the beauty. Pretty much the same picture right there. Yeah, just look at this. Look at how steep it is, too. It is definitely not easy. And remember, they had to basically climb up these using steps that were maybe about this wide. If even that. And, like, they were just stacked, like, 1, 2, 3 to get to the next area. This place rocks. But, hey, look. Who's that fucking idiot right there? And once again, the little shack huts up here. And this right here, another great shot of all the beautiful, beautiful architecture. It's funny how this, the very high-cast building right here stands out a lot. Like, it's compared to these and the other ones. It is funny how it's like, oh, that definitely looks different. Also, what's up, Katana? Good to see you. I hope you are doing well. I did go to Peru. Currently going through all the pictures. It was a fantastic time, man. Fantastic time. I hope you've been well. Welcome in as I explain more of the beauty of Machu Picchu. But yeah, once again, it's funny seeing the dichotomy, too, of, like, the stuff that's still standing or was restored to the stuff that they are planning on restoring, the stuff that was destroyed either in the Civil War or other areas. It's like it's a big dichotomy, seeing, like, oh, cool, it's finished, then it's like, oh... And yeah, a lot of these, like, trusses are, these wooden trusses here, basically just to make sure that these walls don't fall over, because they aren't really supported by much, so, you know, they're trying their best to get this entire thing restored, but once again, it's kind of at a standstill, because they want to make sure they're using as many period-correct rocks as they can to make it as authentic as they possibly can, historically authentic, and it's very tough, because they don't know, they gotta date them, and it's like, yeah, it's just tough. Another beautiful... Ooh, nice lens flare. You've been doing good. Good to hear, Katana. Good to hear. Glad you have been doing well. Yeah, but just like the four... And once again, it's very different from Cusco area because this is closer to the Amazon, so there's a lot more humidity and water. And I think it's mostly the humidity. It's just so much more lush and beautiful. Just amazing. I want to say... Did I take these from the bus? I don't remember. No, I didn't. Okay, I didn't. But still very green. Even just like this area of Machu Picchu with just the basic grass. Still very green and vibrant. Vibrant's a good word. Stairs leading down. Oh yeah, here we go. So this was definitely a house for a very high caste, high member of their religion. Like basically the president, the CEO, the creme de la creme of the Incans lived in here. And once again, you can see the big difference between this architecture and the surrounding pre-Incan stuff. This was definitely built for somebody who was very high up the ladder. And very different. Because it's also circular. Nice little roof there. Roof. I want to say this is the second day. I think this is the second day. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember. Yeah, once again, there used to be a roof here at some point. That got destroyed or just was never built. I love this too. This I believe was some sort of shrine or altar. And there actually is like stuff inside. There's carved like stones and things inside of this. So I believe this used to be an altar that maybe had an idol at some point that they would worship. And I don't know if we could see it, but I believe somebody had sacrificed a centipede or a millipede as like an offering to the gods. I'm not sure if it was this one or a different one, but yeah, just look how intricate the carving is and just how smooth it is. And just carved right inside the mountain, right inside this little cave. There's a good picture of that very intricate and distinct building. Sacrifice to bug? Yep. You can sacrifice pretty much anything. Some people offered up like leaves and nuts and drinks and things like that. You could do bugs, live mammals, pretty much anything. Because the millipede, we actually found a millipede once we went up to Huayna Picchu. He was just vibing. And obviously, like, as Marcos explained it, it's not necessarily a good thing to be sacrificing, especially in this day and age. Even if it's just a bug, it's not really like a... It's kind of like a weird gray zone, if you will. Especially for, like, different religions and things like that. I'm not a religious person, just to clarify. I don't, like, follow a religion. If you do, cool. I don't. So I don't know all the details, but yeah, there's, like... you don't really sacrifice nowadays, if that makes sense. It's just kind of like a very old way of doing it. Yeah. I won't go too much into it, but yeah, basically just that. But yeah, once again, more windows. It's amazing how they built those, and they're all pretty much the same shape. They did a good job considering that not every rock is going to be the same. Good music, too. More roofs. Or used to be roofs. These high buildings. Another good picture of that very distinct building with Huayna Picchu. I think that one might actually be the smaller of the two mountains, which I don't remember the name of, unfortunately. And these steps were created with Machu Picchu. These are genuine, which is why you can't walk in them. Obviously, these are not genuine. Those are for tourists. Can you sacrifice some of your coworkers? I mean, if you want to, yeah. Might go to jail for the rest of your life, but whatever. Once again, so if you see an arch like this with a roof on top of it, it means you are entering a very high caste area, like the country club, the resort of this area. There's a lot of these, obviously, because it's where the higher ups go. It's very cool. The mighty sun will protect you. It will. It protected them, that's for sure. They praise the sun like no tomorrow. But the sun is, it's all giving. Always a great picture again of the surrounding terraces through a narrow kind of hallway-esque thing. Another beautiful view of the surrounding mountains. More genuine stairs. I don't remember what this area was, but if you see this, I don't think I got a good picture of that. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we did. Another arch right here. Kind of looks like a face. It's like... All right, so this rock is actually very interesting, and you might see it's interesting because it's closed off. So this rock, I at first thought it was maybe an altar or something like that. No, in fact, this is basically the equivalent of a telescope. So if I zoom in a little bit here, do you see these little puddles of water? There and there. They literally use that at night to see the stars. They use those puddles of water to reflect the sky and look at it and literally do like astronomy. Those two right there. And I think there might have been some more that weren't filled in. But yeah, these were literally ways to see the stars. Like the stars, the universe, the planets, all that. Isn't that incredible to think about how they use this rock? And this is just bedrock. This is literally just fucking bedrock. Why not just look up? I think it's because Marcos gave us a reason why. It was a specific reason why they didn't just look up, and I think it was just more detail or something like that. I don't know, but it basically works as a telescope. And maybe because, maybe they weren't all that smart. Oh, but there was a specific reason why. But yeah, that's basically the Incan equivalent of a telescope. There's another big archway. So once again, this is another area that was for the very high members of society, not the low caste. There's actually two doors. And I think that was either the outside of that or a different door. I don't remember. There's all of us again with a great picture of the mountains in the background. I like how he gets different angles too. Marcos was the man. He was the man's man. That's my mama. Yeah, once again, here's some more rocks that they're going to be using to restore. there's that fucking idiot again. Right on the cusp. That's actually really good. This might end up being a canvas at some point. 2 doors, that must have been someone rich. Oh, yeah. Like I said, anytime you see any of these, that was absolutely the rich and the famous. Especially when it has, like, a big roof and arch over it. This is actually a really good picture. I might have to make this... I might have to tell Mom to make this a canvas. But yeah, there's that tree again. More circular area. Another great just shot of Machu Picchu in all its wonderful glory. More windows, usually based on the position of the sun. A nice shot, also a great shot of the terrace in the background. This is one area we weren't able to go to, and I believe it was closed, unfortunately, but I think this was another very important area too. Was that the end of the thing? Okay, no, it wasn't. Oh, or it was. That's weird. That's really weird. So after this video, there's like 3 minutes of silence. Okay, I'm just going to skip to the next one. That's odd. Anyway, back to this. Beautiful blue sky. Yeah, it was actually nice. Like, we got a little bit of rain when we first arrived at Machu Picchu, but it only lasted for like 10 minutes. And then the rest of the time we were there, it was like pretty much mostly sunny, but with some clouds, but it didn't rain again. It was actually quite perfect. And Marcos was getting a little bit worried because I did not have a rain jacket because I was stupid and didn't bring one. And Matthew, Mom's boyfriend, didn't have one either. So, yeah, he was getting a little worried that we were just going to get soaked and it would ruin our experience. But thankfully, it only lasted like 5-10 minutes. Then it was pretty much sunny and cloudy the rest of the way. So, perfect. It was like the universe and the mountain was looking out for us. Here's another astronomy rock, as you can see, with the puddle in the middle. So, shine that. You can see the stars. Here's a good example of some of the big-ass rocks that they had to carry up and were using, or carve out and / carry up and using as pieces, foundational pieces. Look at how freaking big they are. It's actually insane how they were able to make some of these and, like, carry them. It had to have taken, like, 10 people. Another great shot of just, like, a little shack inside, good shaded area. Another one window. Once again, back to the destroyed area that they're going to restore at some point. Had to burp, excuse me. There's that high cast area again with the terraces in the background. Ugh. I'm so glad I got so many pictures. Just how big it is. It still just gets me every time I see it, just how freaking massive. And like I said, these are everywhere. Like on the train ride, we saw a bunch of these. On the car rides, we saw a bunch of these. We probably could have seen some on the plane ride to Cusco if we looked. Like, these are literally, like, everywhere. Which just shows, like, how far they expanded. At least, you know, the Incans and the people before. Literally everywhere. More windows with, once again, the dichotomy between the old and the new. Oh, here's, like, another great shot. Oh, that's right. The other one is called, like Huchu Picchu. So, yeah, Huayna Picchu is the big mountain. Huchu Picchu, which I think literally means small, is the smaller mountain. That was the other name. We didn't climb the smaller mountain. We did the bigger mountain, and I'll get to that later. Or pretty soon, I think, because I think we're getting close to the end of the Machu Picchu. Because I think this is on day 2 and the final day of the Machu Picchu trip. Yeah, just beautiful. Just amazing how they were able to do this. How ancient it is, too. I mean, it's half of this is most of this is pre-Incan, so most of this dates between, like, 600 to 800 AD. Like, think about how long ago that was. That was a fucking long time ago. Oh, yep, here's the workers I was talking about. So these guys literally work, like, 20 to 25 days in a row. Then they get 7 days off, and they're back doing another 20 to 25 days. Yep, marking the restoration of the rocks, doing some gardening, making sure no invasive plants get in. And once again, hey, if you can't carve out this foundational piece, just use the piece and put some rocks on top of it. Also, yeah, that grass does look soft, doesn't it? They do a great job of keeping this place in amazing shape. Like, much respect to these workers. Think about that, 20 days in a row. Like, yeah, you get 7 days off, but Jesus Christ. And remember, this is not like the bus ride. The bus ride to get here takes about 25 to 30 minutes. You got to bus all the way up this like snake-like slope up the mountain and back down every day. And then also have to walk around this very, you know, large and steep area. Like, you know, and in the sun half the time. With, you know, with long sleeve shirts and pants. Like, mad respect to those workers. They work so hard to keep this place in shape, and you have to give them respect because, man, that's not an easy job. Another great view of Machu Picchu from below. Once again, all these bedrock is all the braces. A good example of the terrace, the step, or the, you know, the steps. More big-ass rock. Like, look at how fucking big some of these rocks are. Like, yes, these ones are staying, but that one definitely ain't. So they basically had to carry that son of a bitch. Oh, put it right there. It's incredible. It's ridiculous. That's a great shot. Once again, the workers doing their thing. There was a lot of them. That's beautiful. I already miss it. I already want to go back. God damn it. It's going to be fucking years before I do. Oh, yeah. You want to talk about a big rock? How about this? This big-ass rock that they carved. This is at the gates of the Huayna Picchu hike. And this is literally shaped in the shape of the mountain in the background. Which is basically like the sister mountain to Machu Picchu. I don't remember the name of it. But yeah, they basically carved it out of like the shape of the mountain. Obviously, it's not 100% accurate, but it's pretty close. Look at how fucking huge that is. Another nice shack hut. All right, so I don't remember exactly. Okay, yeah. So this is once again the Urubamba River. This is these are pictures I took before we did the Huayna Picchu hike, and holy shit, well, first off, let's just like how beautiful. So yep, that's the Urubamba. Stretches what 450 miles or something like that. Urubamba there, beautiful mountain. All right, so. Montana Huayna Picchu. This was an optional hike that we decided to do. Well, I should say my mom and I decided to do. Her boyfriend Matthew decided not to because I guess he kind of found out he had a fear of heights when he hiked some of the previous areas. So my mom and I decided, you know what? Let's try it. It's apparently a pretty tough hike, and oh my god, it was a very tough hike. This was by far, hiking the Huayna Picchu mountain was by far the hardest hike I have ever had to do in my life, like without a doubt. But I did get to see some cool things like this little marker right here, which is near the beginning. And here is a beautiful, absolutely amazing view of Machu Picchu from about, let's say, like a third to halfway up. If I had to, I think this is about halfway up, roughly. Yeah, look at just that. Huayna Picchu gives you the absolute best views of the entirety of Machu Picchu, because this is all of it right here. And this is the zoomed out shot. Another wonderful shot. Just look at how just the architecture, just amazing. These beautiful ancient ruins. Here's another good view. I think this is about like 80 to 90% up the mountain. All right, and then this was so I obviously didn't take too many pictures of the hike itself because I shit you not, like you start, this is from, I'll go back real quick. From this sign to right here is almost 1,000 feet up of hiking, just pure hiking. And some of those steps are really tall, like from here to here, going all the way just up, just straight up basically. And it was very, very difficult. It was very exhausting because it's steep, it's high altitude, and it's just nothing but big steps. And some of the steps are actually pretty narrow too. Some of those are not very, not very narrow. Or sorry, not very big. They're super small. It was very tough, but it was so worth it because holy crap, the view. And so right here, this is the bus trail. So the bus literally goes all the way around these little roundabouts, all the way up. And that's where they enter. And once again, here's the Inca Trail. This is literally just the end of the Inca Trail. So look at that. So, like, it goes all the way right there. And so that right there is where the Inca Trail finally ends and they get to Machu Picchu. And let's remember, this is the end of it. The end of, like, a 30-mile trail through mountains. Yeah, it gives you the absolute best views of Machu Picchu, but it was a very tough hike. By far the toughest I've ever had to do. But yeah, so Machu Picchu Mountain, Inca Trail, the bus trail, Machu Picchu itself, and the Urubamba all in one shot. Yeah, and afterwards you have to go back down. Oh, yeah. Here's a great zoom-in shot of Machu Picchu in its full glory. The views from the top of Huayna Picchu were unbelievable. And here it is. As proof, 2,667.58 meters, I believe, above sea level. And, yeah, it was the toughest hike, but it was so worth it. And we did it in perfect time. So on the itinerary, it even says... Get it real quick. Where the fuck is it? Oh, I think it's this page. What's that in freedom units? I don't know. Actually, no, I do know. It's about 10,000 feet, because I believe Machu Picchu is about 9,000, and the hike up is 950 feet, so it's just about 10,000 feet above sea level. That's right, so 3 hours. So we literally signed in, because you have to sign in for the hike, because it's like only a certain amount of people can hike at once. It's kind of like you have to reserve it ahead of time. We signed in at 9:42. We signed out at 12:42. And it even says on the itinerary, if you could see it right here, 3 hours, Huayna Picchu hike. We did it in exactly 3 hours. I felt very proud of that. Even with, I had to stop like 8 times just to catch my breath because it was so tough. And obviously we took pictures and things. And even with that, we still did it in the perfect amount of time. But yeah, so about 10,000 feet above sea level. It's a lot. It's a lot. But it was so worth it. Here's a little cave right here. So yeah, once again, I didn't take too many pictures of the of the trip back down, but this little cave right here is super narrow. Like, that's the opening, and you have to climb through this to get back down. And I swear to God, some of the steps down, you have to scoot on your butt, because if you try to go with your feet, you are going to fall forward. And some of these steps were literally more narrow than I am. Like, and I'm big. I know I'm big, but like they were literally like this narrow. So some of them I literally had to just like very gently scoot on my butt, or else I was going to fall about 1,000 or 10,000 feet to my death. And I'm not afraid of heights. I'm just gonna say that right now. I'm not afraid of heights. I think I used to be, but I've gotten over it. But I was a little bit like, okay, just carefully scoot on my ass. Yeah, so then these are the last pictures I got of Machu Picchu before we left, so yeah. But yeah, Huayna Picchu, I just want to say, if you are able to do it, if you ever go to Machu Picchu, absolutely do it. It is a tough hike, don't get me wrong, but holy crap, the views are so worth it. And the hike itself is worth it. It's a good hike. It's a good fucking workout. I had not sweat that much since I was in high school when I was doing, like, mile runs in PE. But anyway, more Machu Picchu right here. More beautiful scenery. Another nice arch right here. More big-ass, pieces. I mean, just look at this bedrock. I love how they even have it slanted, too. Like I said, the engineering is incredible. Places to potentially put idols or more for the sun. All right, so that's it for the actual ruins of Machu Picchu. Now we're back in the city. I like the corn. It's like a man made of corn. Got the eyes, the nose. Oh yeah, also Peru is very big on preservation and also like recycling and stuff like that. So they literally had frog baskets for organic food, inorganic, and like recycling, basically. They're frogs. Little frogs. Here's a statue of Mata Capac, an Inca warrior. Sinchiroca, another Incan warrior. And Tupac! His name is literally Tupac, and I believe Tupac Shakur actually got his name from this guy. Or at least, you know, it was based on it. But yeah, these are some of the Incan warlords, or like kings and things like that. The rapper, yeah, I believe the rapper actually sort of got his name because it's even spelled the same. Or at least it was inspired by. Oh yeah, so this is... So, alright, so that's the end of the Machu Picchu experience. Holy crap, it was incredible. I absolutely loved it. Obviously, I couldn't take pictures of everything because, you know, time constraints and things like that. But, yeah, so when we got to our next, this is now back in Cusco. When we got to our hotel, which was my favorite hotel of the entire trip, which was the, what was it called again? Oh, yeah, the Antigua Casonas San Blas Cusco. This is literally a lamp made of corn. It's like a corn lava lamp. It's a lamp. They put corn in it. They put it on a light, and it's corn. Isn't that amazing? It's very funny. What's happening in this song right now? I think I might just skip this one. They're doing too much talking, not enough singing. There we go. But yeah, corn lamp, dude. Isn't that amazing? Oh yeah, they also had a freaking lamp made of an old-ass iron. Amazing. All right, so now we are in the final stages of our trip. This is the... I didn't get too many pictures of Cusco, but this is Cusco. And the next place we are going to, in terms of weird lamp hotel, in terms of the trip are... See if I can remember what the names are. Oh yeah, Sacsayhuaman, Quirichanca, and Cusco's Cathedral. I could not get any pictures of the cathedral because it is off limits. The pictures are, I should say. And I can see why, because they are, holy shit, they're amazing. But yeah, this is down, kind of like downtown, in quotes, Cusco. Oh yeah, this is one of the Cusco, like, good luck deities. You basically give him a cigarette, and like money and other things, and he'll give you good luck. Here's a nice picture of some of the roads of Cusco. And once again, Incan walls. You can see by the type of architecture that this is indeed Incan. There's Marcos on our final day with him. God damn it, I missed him already. Hatrunomiak. I don't know how to say it correctly. Another beautiful road to Cusco. All these cute little shops around. Two big crosses. And here we go. So this is this is basically like the tourist plaza of Cusco. But look at this huge church, built in, I believe, the 15 or 1600s or something like that. So just think about that. This church predates the United States of America. I should have told him to follow me on Twitch. I should have. I definitely should have. That's okay though. He can find me later. But yeah. So this church predates the United States of America by about 100 years. And once again, just another little downtown area. Once again, a very big... Cusco is very big on tourism because they got, like, cathedrals and ruins and things like that. So, and it's one of their biggest sources of income is tourism. Yep, brick roads, baby! And look at how freaking big it is, too. All of these buildings. Now, the funny thing is, you might think, like, oh, there's got to be, like, millions of people there, right? No, Cusco's actually only got about 550,000. Lots of buildings, though. Here's another big cathedral right here. I believe this was the main cathedral. This was the one that would not allow pictures because, I mean, I can see why. Like, the murals and the golden, like, statues and things like that were absolutely unbelievable. And this cathedral is, like, a very, 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 very sacred place to the city and to the country, so it makes sense why they didn't allow pictures. Great picture of the other church there. Fucking beautiful architecture. Beautiful architecture. Cusco. Nice fountain with an Incan Incan lord up here. All right, so these are the next ruins. Sacsayhuaman. I don't know how to say that correctly, but yeah, more ruins with some gorgeous paintings by a local painter. And it's funny because he was actually painting another like mural type thing on the next wall while we were there. He was literally painting it as we were going through. So welcome to Sacsayhuaman. I don't know how to say it correctly, but these ones are literally right. So like Cusco's here, and these are like right up the road basically. Because remember, Cusco used to be, or I guess still is, the capital of the Incan Empire. This is where they were based. This is where they did most of their business and damage. So, yep. And here are some more ruins. So, yeah. A lot of these... Actually, I'm pretty sure all of these ruins are... Or I should say most of these ruins are Incan. There's still going to be some pre-Incan ones, but most of them are Incan ruins. Like this big-ass slab. And once again, just huge terraces. But yeah, look at how fucking big these rocks are. Like, obviously, some of these are connected, too, but they just, like, the way they carve them is just so intricate. Because this whole thing is basically bedrock, so they just had to carve these intricate things out of bedrock. Just amazing. Terraces again. But you can see the difference between, you know, these terraces and the pre-Incan and the Incan. Here's a good shot of Cusco. Emperor's New Groove. Muyucmaca and Cruzmoco, or Muyucmarca. Two very important areas in this in these ruins. Big ass rock right here. Just amazing. It's just amazing how they fucking built this. I would love to go back in time and just like watch them build this. Another great shot of Cusco. Whole freaking thing, and I think there's more on the left side as well. I mean, you would think like, damn, only 550K. This looks like this would hold like a few million, but nope, sure don't. Another terrace right here. Not as clean as a lot of the other ones because either it was abandoned. It was probably, I believe some of these were abandoned when the Civil War started, so they were never finished because these are very like sloppy in terms of the. You know, the other terraces we have seen. And also, look at all this freaking bedrock. And if I remember correctly, this is all limestone. This is not... the usual rock they build with is granite, if I remember correctly. But a lot of granite and quartz and things like that. This is all limestone, which is much softer. And definitely gives it a different look and feel. Like, that's a good example right there. Very different look than some of the granite ones. Little open area. Another pathway, but not with a roof, so it's not... This is probably more for the workers in the, you know, the stone workers and things like that, the farmers. Yep, once again, the new and the old. New and old. Stretches. Okay, there's like a little downward area. I'm not sure where that led. I don't think we were able to go down there. It was off limits, but, curious for sure. Little thatched roof. Beautiful green. So, like, even though, you know, Cusco and Lima aren't as green as Machu Picchu, still definitely a good amount of green for sure. Got some good trees here and there. Nice staircase leading down. I believe this is some sort of... That's another wall. Yeah, that's right. I thought that was maybe like a stream for a second. Oh, here's a good, like, how they built these rocks. Stuffed them full of dirt and clay. Okay, so Muyucmarca. This is actually one of the most important things at this ancient temple. So this actually used to be a giant tower. This thing was like 30, 40 feet high. So just like basically take this and stretch it about 40 feet up. And yeah, isn't that incredible? Just thinking about how this used to be a temple, and this used to be some sort of altar or shrine, and historians honestly don't know why they built this. Like they clearly see it was some sort of temple or shrine. They just didn't really know to what, basically. And yeah, it's incredible to think about just how this used to be. How the hell did they get this to be 30 to 40 feet up? They don't know, and they'll never know. Another great shot at Cusco. Oh, yeah, Viva el Peru, which is apparently written by, I think, like terrorists or something. But it had like a sickle and chisel or something. But they took that out a year later and made it Viva el Peru. So, because yeah, back in the 80s, Cusco and Peru were not doing very good. They had like kind of like a revolution in quotes, where a bunch of insurrectionists basically like took over, and were not very good. They killed tourists and killed lots of people, and that's kind of why the city fell in hard times during the 80s and 90s, but has since recouped, thankfully, because the terrorists finally left and all that shit and got overthrown. Yeah, Cusco's big, man. And this isn't even all of it. There's still way more to the left and the right. But I got some really good shots. Like, look at all these buildings. Just huge. Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was pretty bad. Marcos was giving us some history about, because he was born and raised in Cusco, and he was giving us some history about the times during the 80s, 90s, and like, it was not good. It was not good. Nobody wanted to go, like, no tourists wanted to go there because of they would literally just get killed. Like, if they saw you were a tourist, they would just fucking murder you. And it's like, wow, dude. That's terrorism for you, though. But, yeah. But anyway, more ruins here. Got a nice view of the trees. But yeah, just, like, as far as the eye can see, just amazing feats. I hope another high cast area. Little alcove, too. I like that. Nice steps. That's us going down. Little circular area. I don't remember what that is, though. Back to Muyucamarca, if you wanted to. Actually, one thing I should mention about Muyucamarca. There was another ruin that I don't think we were able to see that was kind of related to it. That was also a temple, but there also was a third one of these that apparently was destroyed by the Spaniards when the Spaniards got here. Basically, once the Spaniards got into these areas, they destroyed a lot of the temples and things they had created, I think just because they wanted to find the gold and things like that. Or they wanted to build their own things on top of it. So there was a third one of those types of ruins, but I don't believe it survived. And I believe these trees, this is where it used to be, that third temple. It's a shame that it wasn't able to stay up, but I don't know what this picture is. Get rid of that. Okay, what are these pictures? Must have been high or something. Anyway. Yeah, just, look at how, like, intricate these carvings are. Like, obviously, most of this is bedrock, so this is not moving or going anywhere. So what they basically did is like, well, if it ain't moving, let's just carve into it. And see these little divots in the rock? These are literally places to put your hands and feet so that you can keep carving the rocks. And these are not deep. Like, you had to be really freaking careful. And these are, like, these are in a lot of spots. A lot of these rocks had these divots. It's just unbelievable. If we ever get time machines, I would love to go back and just watch them, like, do this. Maybe, like, a sped up version. Yeah, just huge. Yep, see, more divots. Literally just to get, feet and hand grip so you can keep carving out the rocks with a stronger rock. Oh, here we go. Great picture of Cusco. Fantastic picture, in fact. So, yeah, this is, like, center. This is right. And all that stuff. All right, so that was, let's see. Sacsayhuaman. I don't know how to say it right. All right, so this is Coricancha. This is the, let's see. One of the most important Inca temples. This is the one where the walls were once actually coated in gold. And yes, that is not a lie. And this is where we were able to take some pictures. These murals in the background you'll see in some shots, we were not able to take pictures of those because they are very sacred to the cathedral and the makers of them. But, yeah. Just beautiful architecture once again. So this is actually an interesting building because this was made in the 15 or 1600s by European settlers. So people from like Europe, Spain, I think like Italy or something like that. So basically this was obviously not made by the Incans because by this time the Incans had long been gone. So these are basically made by the European settlers and immigrants and things like that. And yeah, and you can definitely see the difference in the type of architecture. Beautiful. And once again, restoration. See these numbers like D1, B2, B4. Have them all numbered to be restored. Do not touch, you filthy animal. Beautiful vase. You can see very, very religious based. Yeah, once again, so like these murals, I probably shouldn't have gotten like pictures like this because you can kind of see them, but you can't take any direct pictures of these murals. So I'll probably just skip those quickly so I don't get sued by Peru. However, this is actually an Incan area. They basically built a lot of this cathedral on top of already settled Incan structures, if I remember correctly. And these are some of the rocks they used, or were going to use, to build. And I think each of these had a specific purpose. Like this is for melting down gold and copper and things like that. You can see like right there, same type of thing. Yeah, each of these stones had a different function basically. Not all of them are super clear to the historians, but a lot of them were. I think it was mostly for forging because at this point, you know, they had a lot of freaking gold to work with. So gold and copper, different metals and things like that. So I think a lot of this was for smelting, if that makes sense. And just very interestingly carved rocks. Some of these are still a bit of a mystery, but yeah. And this is a diagram of roughly what this complex used to look like when the Incans still inhabited it. And it's all this like strip right here, literally solid gold, and I believe the walls are also solid gold. Because literally, like this complex used to be covered in gold. Like these walls were covered in gold, actual gold. They had a lot of it, and they worshipped the gold. I didn't get a good picture of it, but like right here, where these guys are looking at, is actually a gold deity, like a gold, like a gold idol, because they worshipped the gold. They wanted to use it, and they wanted to worship and crave it. And they did. They had a lot of fucking gold. That's why the Spaniards were so like intent on trying to capture it, because they're like, man, they got all this freaking gold. We should just take it. Let's go. Another beautiful vase. They had a lot of these really beautiful looking vases, like beautifully painted. More carvings of the Jesus Christ's two dogs with the torches in their mouths. Stone archway. Oh yeah, this is a little smorgasbord table of Incan offerings. So these are the things that the Incans would offer to their idols: corn, different types of nuts, candies, rice. Obviously, these are, whatever alcohol they had at the time. Definitely not like a modern wine. Leaves, cheese, many chips, many different things they offered to whoever their deity was. Those golden idols and things like that. Very fascinating. Whoop, pressing the wrong button. Here you go. Develop many magical as a religious manifestation, whatever that word is, by one Andean shaman. What the use entails: vegetables, mineral, animals. The three sacred spaces: heaven, earth, and the underground. Whereas the resident, their gods, typical of the vast cosmic firmament. So, yep. Pretty much just to whatever god they, whatever god they decided to go with. I don't remember exactly what this picture was depicting, but I believe it was the god of fish, the god of me, baby. I got a poncho. I'm the god of ponchos. But I believe, if I remember correctly, each of these lines represents a different temple in the area that is important to, like basically this cathedral is the center, and then this kind of spreads out to the different temples, and they all link together or something like that. It's like this cathedral, the cathedral that we were standing in. So this is like, this cathedral's like the center of the universe, and all these other temples that are in the area connect to it in some way. Oh yeah, this is a picture of the Milky Way, or painting, and they believe that it also represented, you know, these things. So like the llama in the middle, the shepherd, the pastor shepherd, the fox, hell yeah, a partridge, a toad, and the serpent. As you can see, I mean, I can definitely see it. There's the llama, there's the pastor, the snake over here, partridge, etc., etc. That's what they believed. This is a good view of one of the Cuscoan complexes from the outside of the cathedral. Once again, very Incan structure. And this, they believe, was literally a place to put an idol. So, like, say I wanted to put this, like, let's say this is an idol. You put, that was what was there. They don't know what happened to the idol. Maybe the Spaniards stole it or something. But this, they believe that there used to be, like, a big golden idol right there. Like, perfect place for it. But they'll never know. Nice frickin' door. Here's another very interesting thing. So, markings all over this thing, and each one has a specific meaning. I don't remember what they are, but now the interesting one is I asked, what the heck are these ones over here? Well, this one is representing the Milky Way in space. That's why they are off the canvas. I was like, oh, okay. Because it was like, okay, why are these the only ones that are not here? It's like some of them are, but they're not like actually stuck on there. It's because that's for space. This is another fountain outside of the cathedral. I think it was the fountain that was actually close to our hotel. Walking down the one of the streets again. Beautiful streets, beautiful city. I mean, seriously, Peru is just beautiful. Here is the outside of the cathedral. Once again, I could not take any pictures on the inside. It was off limits and forbidden. But just, yeah, this cathedral's old. Half of it was built in, like, about 80 years before the United States became a thing, and then the other half is built in, like, the mid-1800s. So, yeah, this is obviously the only picture I could have gotten. But, yeah, this is just a bit of a taste of how ridiculously unbelievable the, you know, the shrines were in there. It was, I mean, amazing. Cusco near the night. This was the restaurant that we ate at, Limo. This is the restaurant that was recommended by the guy who basically set everything up, and it was really good. All right, so that is it for the Cusco area. Now we have our final excursion into our last area that we were at, which was the city of Barranco, Lima. And this is where we took our culinary tour. So on our final day of the trip, we had a culinary tour of Barranco, which is one of the oldest neighborhoods in Lima, and we got to taste many a different food, and holy shit, they were all amazing. We tried empanadas, different types of coffee, ceviche, which was basically like raw fish with different vegetables. We tried beef heart. Yes, beef heart, which was actually really good. Beef stir-fry with rice and potatoes. Pisco sours, which is an alcoholic beverage, which I wasn't a fan because I just don't like the taste of alcohol. Different types of gelato ice cream. What else did we try? I think that actually might be it. Oh yeah, delicious like a fruit juice drink that was very refreshing. It had like passion fruit and cacti fruit and things like that. Yeah, it was really, really good. Like everything that we had in the culinary tour was amazing. I don't usually eat vegetables, but I ate like every fucking vegetable that they gave me because it was just too good. But these are some murals that were painted in Barranco, which I believe they had a contest for, actually. But yeah, like these are just amazing paintings. Just incredible. Especially this one. Achorada. Which I believe means like strong female or something like that. It was Achorada, if I remember correctly. Another beautiful mural of all the different types of people. Yeah, because apparently Lima's very diverse. It has a lot of different types of people, much like America. It's got, you know, a lot of Peruvians, but I believe it also has a lot of like Japanese citizens or mixed citizens and things like that. It's a very diverse place. Hagamos un Peru que nos de gusto, which I believe means let's make a Peru that we could be proud of, because I believe, so from what our tour guide said, currently, like 2024, Peru has gone through its 5th president in 4 years. For reference, when a president gets chosen for Peru, they serve a 5-year term. So, yeah, they've currently gone through many a president and had a lot of instability, like, politically. And their current president is currently being, investigated for corruption. So, which I believe was just because of some weird, like, technicality. But yeah, so currently Peru it's in a bit, like, politically is in a bit of a slump. They've gone through a lot of presidents in only 4 years when there's supposed to be, a 5-year term for each. And this is basically just saying, hey, we just want to have a Peru we can all be proud of. We don't want to deal with this BS, basically. So, really cool. It's also, the color scheme is based off of Inca Cola, which I got to try, which is like, a very traditional Peruvian drink. It's basically like the Coca-Cola of Peru. Very good. It's kind of like a bubblegum pineapple drink. Yeah, just like... So this side of the mural was painted by, like, a Japanese Peruvian citizen, which gives it more of, like, an anime look. And this side was created by I think, like, pure Peruvian citizen. So they each created one side of this mural, which is really cool. Lujares. Lots of aminals. And then this was also a statue of somebody. I don't remember what it was, but I think I may have gotten the front. Let's make a Peru that gives us pleasure, what Google Translate says. Oh, cool. Well, that's not what the official guide who was from Peru said, so I'm not going to trust Google on this one. But sure. But she basically just said, like, let's make a Peru to be, or, like, let's make a Peru to be proud of. So, yeah. Yeah, Google can fuck itself. I'm going to trust the person who's actually from the city and guided us through the city. So, sorry, Google. You can go fuck yourself for once. So, yeah, this is literally the Black Vulture Park. The Black Vulture, I believe, is the, if I remember correctly, is the official, like, animal of Peru. And I believe it's on, like, the coat of arms and everything. And, yeah, I didn't get many pictures, but there was a ton, and I mean a ton of black vultures just chilling. Oh yeah, this is the other side of that tower, or that obelisk. But yeah, black vultures were everywhere, dude. You can't really see them too much, but like black vulture, black vulture, black vulture, black vulture. They were everywhere. And yeah, but yeah, exactly. The Google one and this one are the same difference. Just make Peru good, and that's what matters. Exactly, for sure. But yeah, lots of black vultures, man. They were everywhere. Yep, see? You can even see 2 right up there. Very big birds. Barranco Street, another cathedral which is built in like the 1800s, if I remember correctly. This is basically like the downtown area. Can I pet the birds? No, I don't believe you can. And you're not supposed to feed them either. I mean, vultures are basically like, nature's garbage disposals anyway, but no, you definitely don't feed the birds. They're wild. Another beautiful cathedral, I believe also made in the 1800s. A cool looking carved out stone. So this is the Barranco main plaza / square where they have lots of parties. Excuse me, different market events. They have a stage over here. I'll show you in a minute. Very beautiful city. Or town, I should say. It is nice. The Biblioteca, which is the library. Cute trees. This is for a view from when I turned around. And there's, I believe that's like the city center. Yeah, I believe that's the city center of Barranco. Here's the stage. Little theater / performing stage where if they ever want to perform some plays or songs or whatever, that's where they do it. Right in the middle of the square. Another black vulture. They were literally everywhere, dude. Like in downtown Barranco, they were everywhere. Because Barranco is also right next to the beach. But yeah, this is the library, the Biblioteca. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful town. Absolutely beautiful. I believe these are the final 2 pictures. This is inside our one of our last stops on the culinary tour called, I think it was called, Juan... Oh, what was it called? I'm literally forgetting. I think it was Juanitos. Yeah, Juanitos. So this is Papa Juanito, and these are his 3 sons. Somebody made this for him. And I believe this guy actually was in the bar, so he's still kind of like running the whole show. And this guy's sons, or 2 of his sons, were working in the bar as well. This has been a family business since like I think the 1930s. It's been run in the family, and it will probably continue to be run in the family until they stop. Okay, yep, we're down the videos. But yeah, it's really cool place. This is where we tried the pisco sours, which is like a very big Peruvian drink, which is made from grapes. I didn't like it, like I said, because I don't like alcohol, but it wasn't bad. But yeah, so all in the family. I love this stock car just chilling there. And that was our tour guide, Natalie. There's one of the sons preparing the pisco sours. But yeah, really, really cool. There's Papa. There's I think that might be him or him. But yeah, so it's all in the family. All right, cool. So the last thing I want to show you is this. And like I said, this will also be posted to YouTube later because I just felt that this was really cool. All right, where the hell's the volume button? Here we are. The peak, the pinnacle. Hanwa Picchu.
The shadow of the clouds.
Yep.
Just
That's my mom.
We are way high up in the mountains. That's Machu Picchu. Those are the bus trails that lead up to Machu Picchu. Hard to see, but there's also the Inca Trail, which is a very long trek.
And from the very top, or almost the very top.
Look. Centipede.
Oh yeah, I saw a centipede on the ground.
We also have a friend.
Which is actually a millipede.
touch it.
Oh yeah.
A millipede.
That's why he was saying if you're afraid of it. Hello, centipede.
So once again, millipede, not centipede.
Yep. Machu Picchu.
Yep. So there you go. That is it. Yeah, he is big. He's a big boy. He's a millipede. Big bug. He was super cool though. He was just chilling. All the little legs. But yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna post that one later on YouTube. Just as like that's when we got to the very top of Huayna Picchu. And yeah, it was amazing. We climbed that 1.5 hour long trek. Very difficult, but we got some of the best views of any scenery that I will ever see. I mean, literally, that's the entirety of Machu Picchu right there, from the mountain to the front of it. It's absolutely breathtaking. Yeah, the Inca Trail's right there. Bus trails, as I said, the Urubamba River's down to the bottom right, and yep, right there, which stretches for 400 miles. You would have caught it, Animal Crossing instincts. You would have. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That was my trip. Overall, holy shit, I had an absolutely wonderful time. I will definitely never forget that trip for as long as I live, and I hope someday I get to come back. I have no idea when or if that'll ever happen. My mom says it'll probably be like a decade before we might have another chance. But hopefully one day I will be able to. Never say never, because you never know what'll happen. But, also, we never know when today might be the last day or something. So, I don't know. I hope I get to see it one more time before I perish on this mortal coil. But, yeah, it was such an amazing trip. And then after that Barranco tour, we took fucking 3 more flights back home, which took forever, but hey, it is what it is. But yep, now we're back home, and we are definitely not going to take a trip like that for a while because it took a lot of saving up. But yeah, but big shout out to SA Expeditions. Those are the people that helped us get this all set up. Matt Greenberg, Marcos, Mr. Santos, all of you guys at SA Expeditions. If you ever want to go overseas or just do some awesome things in different countries, please check these guys out. They hooked us up like with everything. Yes, it was expensive. Of course it is because we're going overseas, but they hooked us up with all the hotels, all the different food, the different areas we were going to visit, the awesome tour guides, the awesome drivers, like everything. I mean, it was amazing. And real quick before we end, I do want to show you the few things that I got. Obviously, I got the poncho. Hell yeah, it's freaking great. I also got myself this little model Machu Picchu, which looks really, really cool. That's going to be staying on my desk for the rest of time. I also got these little, I got one pin, which is pretty cool. It's got a llama, and it's all colorful. And I also got this little magnet, which I'll probably put on the fridge, which has Machu Picchu with some colorful stuff in the background, which is awesome. Of course, I had to get a fucking llama. What am I, an idiot? And I also got a deck of playing cards that has all of the pictures of the Sacred Valley of the Incas, Machu Picchu, and different areas that we actually saw. Like, that's Ollantaytambo. So we were there. So I decided to get that as well. And on my keychain, I also have a bottle opener that has a llama and Machu Picchu on the back that somebody gave me for free. So shout out to this place as well. Artesanias Asunta. Or Artesanias Asunta. That's where I got all that stuff. Best prices in town. And I'm not just saying that because, I'm sponsored or anything. This place is awesome. This is where I got half the stuff, and I got the poncho at a place called Lucy's. So if you ever go to Cusco, check out those two places, Artesuna and Lucy's. Great prices and great products. So, but yeah, that is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had a great time doing a bit of a different thing. I've never done a just chatting stream before. Just kind of explaining what my trip was. But hey, if you ever have the chance to get to go to South America, Peru, or even just anywhere overseas, do it. I mean, seriously, it was the first time I had done it, and now after I've done that, I kind of want to just go everywhere. Fucking Europe, Australia, Africa, Canada, Alaska, Antarctica, anywhere. Like, I really want to just explore more of the world now, because I realized, like, man, I've been stuck in the U.S. for so long. I really haven't explored much more than that. But seriously, though, if you ever get a chance to go to overseas and you have the opportunity, just take it. It's really, really fun. Especially South America, as I found out. If you ever want to go to Peru, fucking do it. It is absolutely beautiful. The people are so nice. The driving is pretty fucking crazy. The roads are definitely not as, like, good as American roads, that's for sure. That is one downside, is they just kind of go by their own rules down there. Not many street lights or stop signs or anything like that. You have to be turbo aggressive and like bumper to bumper all the time. But really, other than that, it is a fantastic place. All the people there were so fucking nice. It actually made me realize like how kind of not nice most of us are when I went there, at least in like the US of A. But it happens. Very different type of people too. But seriously, if you ever want to go to Machu Picchu, Peru, fucking do it. It is fantastic. And once again, if you ever do want to go overseas, check out SA Expeditions first, because I'm not saying this because like we're sponsored by them or anything, but they hooked us up, man. The hotels were amazing. They hooked up all of our flights and things like that. They gave us free breakfast every single day because that's what the hotels had. Some of the dinners were included. Like when we went to Sumac, which is definitely the most expensive hotel, which it was like a 5-star hotel, all of our meals were basically free. So I'm serious. And they gave us the best tour guide we could have asked for, the best driver in Peru. Like seriously, even the tour guide was like, you have the best driver in the entire country right here with us, and I'm very happy to have him. So yeah, seriously, if you ever want to go overseas, check out SA Expeditions first. They might have a tour or something of where you're going to be going. So definitely check it out, because they hooked us up. Once again, shout out to Matt Greenberg, who organized the whole thing. Shout out to Marcos, who was our tour guide and became one of our best friends there. Shout out to Mr. Santos, who was our driver for most of the time, who was a ridiculously good driver. Definitely the best in the country. Also shout out to Natalie, who was our tour guide during the final culinary tour as well. And also shout out to Eloy, who was only with us for a brief time, but he gave us a lot of information while we were driving to the airport. So shout out to you too, man. You guys are awesome. And also shout out to Greta, who was the first person to greet us when we went to Lima. She was only with us for one night, but she greeted us after we got out of the airport, laid down exactly what we're going to be doing, gave us some free food to try, like pisco sours and things like that. And, yeah, just made us feel right at home. Anyway, though, I think that's it. I've talked too much. My voice hurts. My throat was already kind of hurting a little bit, probably, maybe getting sick from the plane rides or whatever. But, yeah, so I'll just stop there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Tomorrow, we're going to get back to gaming, though. This week's going to be a little bit weird. I do have a concert on Friday. I'm going to go see Asking Alexandria and a bunch of other bands play in Portland. So we're just going to do some kind of like one-off random-o games. We're going to do Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Online random races tomorrow and Thursday, since I never got a chance to do that because I just decided to take that day off because I was tired or whatever. So we're going to do that tomorrow and Thursday. Wednesday most likely will be a stream with Mom. If not, I might just do more Mario Kart since I haven't done one of those in over a year at this point. Might as well just make it up by doing a few streams. Friday we're off, Saturday we're off. However, Sunday I was going to start playing, I think, Star Wars Force Unleashed or something like that, but I found out that Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is the sequel to Fallen Order, which I love, is finally on Game Pass and EA Play. So I said, yes, please. We're going to start that on Sunday. I honestly didn't think it was ever going to be on Game Pass or EA Play, but I'm glad it is, because I was honestly considering maybe buying it soon, but now I don't have to. So thanks, Game Pass. So we're going to start that on Sunday and play it for however long we need. Then maybe we'll get back into Battlefield after that, but yeah, like I said, I'll keep the schedule updated. I do have the new schedule in Discord, so check that out if you want. And we'll get back to some gaming tomorrow. So once again, thank you guys for watching. Excuse me. To any lurkers that were in chat, you guys are the backbone of Twitch and this channel, so thank you for lurking. I appreciate you very much. Last but not least, YouTube, I hope you enjoyed this very informative and wonderful stream. Once again, if you ever want to go overseas, do it, especially if you want to go to Peru. It's fucking amazing. I cannot recommend it enough. It was such a good time. The people were awesome. The places were beautiful. And the weather was amazing, too. Like I said, 60s and 70s, sunny, cloudy all around. It was beautiful. But, yeah, YouTube, I'll be back tomorrow with more Mario Kart 8 Deluxe online randoms for the first time, I believe, in over a calendar year at this point. So, yeah, tune in for that. Hopefully I don't get super salty, but I probably will get salty because I get super competitive when I play that game. So, yeah, YouTube, I love you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.